It is 6 o'clock. Good morning, live from 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Week 11 of the NFL season kicked off last night for Thursday Night Football. The Patriots handled the Jets 27-14. Drake May threw for 281 yards and a touchdown, but it was rookie running back Travion Henderson that was the star of the show, scoring 3 touchdowns in the win, 2 rushing and 1 receiving. The Patriots get their 8th straight win and improve to 9-2 on the season. The Titans, fresh off of the bye week, host the Houston Texans this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. Davis Mills was getting his second consecutive start as quarterback C.J. Stroud was officially ruled out yesterday with a concussion. Jalen Petrie and Kaimi Fairbairn also were ruled out for this Sunday. For the Titans, defensive tackle Jeffery Simmons returned to practice yesterday in limited fashion, leaving his return this Sunday possible. On Sunday, it's Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff, getting you started on the Zone at 9 a.m., followed by Titans Countdown at 11, and then it's Taylor Zarzour, Coach Dave McGinnis on the call for Titans and Texans starting at noon. In other NFL news yesterday, 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan announced that quarterback Brock Purdy will start this Sunday against the Cardinals. Purdy hasn't played since back in Week 4. Tomorrow, it's homecoming on Rocky Top as the Tennessee Vols host New Mexico State at Neyland Stadium. Kickoff is at 3:15 p.m. Central. Mike Keith, Ramon Foster have the call for Vol Network, and coverage starts on the Zone at 1 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Happy Friday and welcome in to Ramon and Will. We are fueled by Scooter's Coffee. We are off and running for our final 4 hours of the week. 615-737-1045 is our number. We stream the show live for you at 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. He is 11-year NFL veteran, involved for life, Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins makes the show happen. I'm Will Bowling. And Ramon is retiring this weekend from one very important job. Your flyover services will no longer be needed in Neyland Stadium tomorrow. Stand down, Ramon Foster. We salute you. We thank you for your service, but we're good. We got it from here.
Real ones understand that, man. Like that pierced my soul, man. It did when UT's associate athletic director, man, hit me up and was just like, Ramon, what he saying this tweet? I gotta find it now, Will, because it Jason hits me up on Twitter. He has a GIF. You know what I'm saying? And it was an amazing GIF, okay? He says your flyover duties are covered this week. And I dropped my phone. Will. Like a time was had is what I'm telling you.
It was had.
It was had.
Past tense.
And I don't know. I need one more fly through.
You can join in formation, like you said on social media. So if you're unfamiliar with what we're talking about, since the government shutdown started, Ramon has been there's been no flyovers at football games all around the country, and Ramon has been at the end of the national anthem at the University of Tennessee, has been taking his hand and moving it from right to left on the screen like it's a plane. Well, that evolved into you got a little toy plane.
We got funding.
Yes, you had funding. We're such a non-serious show. And he would fly it across. Well, now, obviously, that is over, and there will be flyovers again, and, that brings us to where.
At first, I was wondering, like, what are you talking? Oh, Jason, that's what I said to myself. Phone dropped to the floor, Will, and I said, one more ride like Bad Boys, like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, man. Like, this is a Top Gun type of moment right here. If they don't respect me in the flyover that I just choose to jump into this upcoming Saturday, something's wrong with the U.S. government is what I'm telling you, Will. And it's not just the other issues that they have out here, okay? It's what I'm telling you is this. If you see me, just leave me alone as I just kind of hold up the tail end of that thing.
We'll get you an activity to do.
You'll give me that, and that's all I'm asking for, Will. My level of importance, people were looking for this one, man.
They are.
I went to the dollar store with some funding and found that one, okay?
Fund, singular. It's just a dollar.
Just a whole dollar out here, man.
It's become part of my Saturday routine. You cannot stop.
We got 2 left this year.
Is there really any need to stop?
I mean, yeah, because
Justin asking the important questions.
I don't want national security after me for jumping in on the flyover like that.
True. So
you make a better plane noise than the actual plane do.
It was a good time. I didn't know it was going to turn into that.
You fly nice and straight. Your left wing comes right across.
People keep talking about me going into the glass, though. Like, eventually the plane has to land at some point, and we got to do the broadcast.
See, one thing that you do that these planes cannot do is the fist bump with Mike Keith immediately after.
That is also very true. That's not to be forgotten. And I'm giving y'all a bird's eye view of it, too, with my meta glasses that I have on. Well, just be ready is all I'm saying, Hawk.
Okay.
Be ready, Will.
Maybe get you a little string, get a little small American flag.
I got a feeling they might show me on the Jumbotron. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Not saying that anybody's told me that, but I feel like they will, if that makes sense to you.
Coming up this morning, Brent Hubbs of AllQuest at 7:20 breaks down the game that'll happen after the flyover at Neyland Stadium. Aditi Kinkabwala of NFL and CBS at 8:20. Tate Matthews talks high school football playoffs round 2 at 9. Yeah. And Ron Slade joins us as he always does on Fridays at 9:20. Jeffery Simmons could be back. Was on the practice field yesterday. Has generated a team-leading 23 pressures this season. Has the 4th highest pressure rate among defensive tackles with at least 150 pass rushes. Ramon, he was back on the practice field yesterday, which is a good sign for the Titans defense. We'll see how quickly that sign is able to be on the field, but the right step in the right direction for Jeff.
No doubt about it, man. Getting on that field is crucial. And it's also one of those situations, too, just being sure of yourself when you out there. Coming back from an injury as an athlete, and just in general, I think people that go to rehab got to feel like themselves, too. But, like, especially on the football field or basketball court or wherever you're trying to get your bearings back, it's am I still conditioned the way I want to? Okay, everything that I did in the pool, everything I did on the treadmill, everything I did in the training room, does it equate to me feeling back normal and being normal? And if setbacks happen, it's just part of the process. But again, it's one of those situations where you have to kind of slow roll yourself back in it. One thing I noticed early about the NFL is guys will be very transparent with you. Guys will be upfront. Like, you don't have a college mindset, because if you go out there, it's assumed that you're healthy. And if you have a bad performance and you say you're hurt, you look like a liar then. So not just that, it's just you're immature about the process and what the NFL is too. And that's something that all guys have to learn. I'm sure Jeffery Simmons is going to make sure he check every single box when it comes down to his ability to play in the football game this upcoming Sunday. And again, if I was him, here's the thing too. I would be chomping at the bit to get out there, because the way he made that Houston offensive line look last time, I know in a 26-0 win, but still, or loss.
For sure.
You know when it's right for the picking. I would want to play in that game if I was him.
No doubt. And, man, that may be an opportunity for that to happen. It would be a huge boost for the Titans to get him back this weekend against a Davis Mills-led Texans offense.
A non-mobile quarterback, too?
C.J. Stroud ruled out for the 2nd straight game, according to head coach DeMeco Ryan, speaking with the media yesterday. So what he did late in that game still gives you something and somebody to prepare for, because honestly, Houston's not been winning with their offense anyway. C.J. Stroud has one 300-yard game since week 11 of last year. They're not winning with quarterback play anyway. I don't think it is a massive deal that Davis Mills is there in place for C.J. Stroud. 2nd time in C.J. Stroud's 3-year career, by the way, that he'll miss consecutive games due to a concussion. Not sure if that is a C.J. Stroud thing in general, or if that is just the way the Houston Texans prefer to manage these things. Again, won't pretend to be an expert on that. But Davis Mills completed 60% of his throws in last week's win, throwing for 292 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, and a pick against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last year, at Week 18, Davis Mills was 12 of 22 for 128, 5.8 yards per completion, playing with mostly backups against the Titans after one drive for starting quarterback C.J. Stroud.
And before Davis Mills decided to go into the phone booth and turn into Superman and not be Clark Kent, they were getting raked over the coals, though, too. Like, it wasn't an easy game for them to win. Now, the ability to be, to persevere and get through that type of, being down like that, that was unique. But how far does that go also as a team, as a quarterback? Davis Mills has been given his opportunity to play in these type of situations, but I still say to him, you're backup for a reason. He's going to have to go improve it again. And if Jeff is playing in that game, if this defense does step up and the offense has the adjustments that you want to see, this is a game that the Titans could absolutely win.
Yeah, how much hope does Davis Mills' inclusion at quarterback give you that the Titans can win this game?
It don't give me a lot other than the fact that he's a vet. It doesn't give me a lot other than the fact that I know he knows how to hand the football off and just manage this football game.
Sure, but the question is how much worse is the Texans' offense with Davis Mills versus C.J. Stroud? That's what I'm asking. Like,
how much worse is it?
How much more hope do you have that the Titans can win the game because Davis
I got a whole
Mills
lot more
is
hope.
That's what. Okay,
yeah, a whole lot more hope. To give you a percentage, I don't know, but if I'm a Tennessee Titans football player this upcoming weekend, and my goal is to win football games, I feel a whole lot better about it being him. Just again, the manner in which he won that football game, 45 passes, relying on his arm to do that, and honestly, he did it with his legs, with his ability to run down the sideline and score.
For sure.
If it wasn't for that element of surprise, I mean, they're probably still losing that football game. So, as far as my feel, they're not whole right now as a team. And when any NFL team isn't whole, especially without their starting quarterback, you got a real good shot to win. This isn't a Joe Flacco situation right here.
Okay.
This isn't, to me, a whoever backup quarterback situation that you believe in. This isn't that. This is, to me, Davis Mills. And I thought I liked him in the beginning until I realized he's just a pumpkin of a quarterback, too.
Pumpkin of a quarterback.
I mean, his career kind of speaks for itself. Man, the best thing that Houston has done for him has kept him around and let him learn this offense the same way as C.J. Stroud did also. So there's experience there. There's familiarity there also. But he's not anything I'm going to be worried about going into the weekend is what I'm telling you.
Well, especially if the Titans.
The way I would feel.
Sure, especially if the Titans could get Jeffery Simmons back. We'll see. He is still a week behind Calvin Ridley on that timeline of returning from hamstring injuries. Obviously, we don't know the severity of either one of them. Calvin, who went out in Vegas, and then the next week back at home when Jeff had his injury. So we'll see. And we'll get more clarity on that, I imagine, today when Mike McCoy speaks about game designations and all those things. But I'm just really excited to watch Jeffery Simmons play next to T'Vondre Sweat, whether that be this weekend or next weekend against the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, it's going to be necessary, too. And more for, as we've all kind of said, more for T'Vondre. He's got to show that he's a Robin, and I mean ASAP. He's got to show, and Robin also got a whole lot of praise and shine, too, by the way. Just because you're riding the side cart don't mean that you're a nobody, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He's got to show that he's that because Jeff's a compliment that many people in the league would love to have.
From Next Gen Stats and NFL Pro, Davis Mills has a 6-19-1 record in 26 career starts. That is the worst record by any starting quarterback to make at least 25 starts since he entered the league in 2021. We'll see.
Run it up.
Starting quarterback this weekend for the Houston Texans. Live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio, Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. We preview a loaded SEC slate of games for you. Coming up next, Ramona Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee at 104.5 The Zone. Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. Scooters Coffee can fuel you as well. You can use your two phones to head on the App Store and get the Scooters Coffee mobile app. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. With Ramon Foster, I'm Will Bowling, 615-737-1045, our number. Previewing the SEC weekend, Oklahoma will head to Tuscaloosa in the most crimson game there has ever been. 2:30 on ABC. Alabama is favored by 6.5 points. Ramon Foster, you have seen both of these teams this season.
Sir.
What stands out about the matchup? Who has the edge at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow afternoon in Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
What stands out about it is good on good. Ty Simpson and that offense, how efficient he's been. I think he's over, 67% on the season right now. He's thrown minimum interceptions. Very good with the football, but he also has to go up against that Oklahoma secondary and that front seven, too. Well, the Oklahoma defense, since I said all of it. How does he do well against them, especially if, and Alabama's had issues with this year, especially if Alabama can't get anything going on the ground. The run game has been a struggle for them most of this year. They have laid on the shoulders of Ty Simpson and how he's been mobile enough to get them out of bad situations, too. The wide receivers have been fair, but I feel like he spread the football around to each and every one of them, including a sprinkle of the tight ends from time to time, too. He's been good. That offense has flourished under him. But, again, when you look at this matchup and what Oklahoma is doing. Oklahoma defense, if I'm not mistaken, is giving up about 14 points a game. This is going to be tight. We all saw this Oklahoma defense travel. Mm-hmm. It traveled well to East Tennessee. I wonder, will it travel well to Tuscaloosa? The deficiencies in which the Vols had, the turnovers offensively, the pressure that, they couldn't pick up continuously throughout the course of that game. I'm wondering what mistakes did Alabama's offensive line and offense pick up that they saw in the Tennessee game versus Oklahoma, and how can they kind of fix that? Because the defense didn't hold back, not even a little bit, Will. And so I wonder, can they do the exact same thing against Alabama on the road like that again?
Very much a must-win game again for Oklahoma at 7-2. 3-2 in the SEC, 11th ranked team in the college football playoff. Their playoff hopes totally hinge on this game. Oklahoma 2-2 in the last 4 wins, of course, over Tennessee and South Carolina, losses to Texas and Ole Miss. Does that desperation mean anything? The fact that Alabama can afford another loss, but Oklahoma can't in this game?
Does that desperation mean anything?
Does it help Oklahoma, the fact that they need this more than Alabama does?
Yeah, it does. Because the season that they had last year, most of those guys came back too. That's the other part that we're forgetting about what Oklahoma has. I'll never forget Jason Swain after the game was like, "What do you think of that defense?" Like, a lot of those guys should be in the NFL. And that's true, and they will be this upcoming draft. That team, that group of guys came back for a purpose. They understand what this is. They understand how big of a matchup this is also. Yes, and I do think, quite honestly, they'll play more free because they know, look, we're supposed to – the mindset is they're supposed to lose this game. But their will on that field is going to be about how they beat them up. And, again, if they can make them one-dimensional and still get after Ty Simpson, there is an opportunity for Oklahoma to win this because of the pressure that they're able to get on that offense. And especially, here's the other part, too. If they can't control the line of scrimmage and run the football, well, Alabama, that is, then that's where, to me, I think they can take over. The biggest issue is Mr. 8'7", I can't say 6'7", Mr. 8'7", and that's John Mateer. 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the seasons, if my stats are correct on that one. So his inconsistencies is where I think they'll force him to throw the football away, because I just can't see him trying to be mobile on the road like that in Tuscaloosa.
Well, I think he can be mobile. I don't know if he can make as many of the high-level throws that he was making before his hand surgery. John Mateer averaged 303 yards passing with 6 touchdowns, 3 picks in 4 games before having thumb surgery. In the 4 games since, he is averaging over 100 yards per game less through the year. 183.5 through the air, 2 touchdowns to 4 picks. He rushed for 80 yards and a score against Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's going to have to run for his life against the Alabama defense. I don't love the matchup for Oklahoma in terms of what they do well and what Alabama does well. Alabama leads the SEC with 16 takeaways. If Oklahoma does not win the takeaway battle in Neyland Stadium, I think Tennessee wins that game by a touchdown.
I roll with you there.
So if Alabama doesn't just totally fall apart and give the ball to the Oklahoma defense, and the Oklahoma offense takes care of it the way that they did, albeit not perfectly, but good enough to win against Tennessee, Oklahoma's got a shot. I just don't see Oklahoma doing that again. Oklahoma is one of the worst teams in college football in turnover margin. They are 110th nationally. I think that's also what made the Tennessee game so frustrating.
Yeah.
Is that Oklahoma was a defense that came in that doesn't force a lot of turnovers. Tennessee was the defense that forced a lot of turnovers, and that script was flipped. They're going to have to flip it again to have a chance at this game. The other thing that stands out is that Oklahoma is still excellent in the red zone. I know they fumbled inside the 20 in Neyland Stadium. I guess statistically that doesn't count as a red zone fumble because that play didn't start in the 20. Either way, however you spin it, Oklahoma is the number one red zone offense in the country. They have scored on all 28 trips inside the 20-yard line this year. Well, that is a strength of Alabama defensively as well. They are 8th in red zone defense. Oklahoma ranks 66th in red zone defense. Alabama also top 20 in all of college football in red zone offense. To me, Oklahoma has got to get 7s and not 3s when they get inside the 20 against such a good red zone defense that Alabama has. And that's certainly something we saw in Tennessee's loss in Tuscaloosa. I came out of the Bama game thinking that's a really good Alabama team. They can win all the rest of their games. They could win the national title. I was impressed by Ty Simpson. I was not as impressed with Oklahoma. I felt like Tennessee did more to lose that game than Oklahoma did to win it in Knoxville when those two teams played, and I'm not so sure Oklahoma can replicate that performance and force those turnovers to have a chance against a better opponent in Alabama this weekend.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it, too, is they having the ability to take advantage of a freshman who busted a play and gave them, honestly, the edge as far as that scoop and return. And I don't think Alabama have those issues on their offensive line with their D-line is presenting itself. The other issue also for Oklahoma, to me, is the fact that Alabama's used to protecting Ty Simpson. He's smart with the football and manipulating the pocket, too. Can their secondary hold up to the wide receivers getting open? Because Alabama's going to run some drag routes, some comebacks, some everything to get themselves open. Can they stand tall in the secondary to stop Alabama? Because that, to me, has been Bama's biggest surprise this year. I mean, not the wide receivers, but the quarterback play that's provided to him. Mm-hmm. He's accurate as – he's a quarterback.
He's making Sunday throws.
Yeah, he is. That's the perfect. He's making Sunday throws, man.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Texas will go to Athens to take on the Georgia Bulldogs at 6:30 p.m. and the game will be on ABC. Georgia is favored by 6.5 points in this game at home. Is Arch Manning ready for this kind of challenge? We as a college football society need to call out when things are good, when they're good. And obviously, we will call out things that are bad when they're bad. Arch Manning was not good to start the season. He is playing well now. Arch Manning has passed for 674 yards with 6 touchdowns and 1 interception over the past 2 games. Georgia, of course, swept these meetings with the Texas Longhorns last year, including a 30-15 win in Austin. Can Texas pull this off, Ramon? And if so, how do they do it?
They first got to get over the mental hurdle, to me. The last 2 times they've played them, Georgia has gotten them. Georgia is elite when it comes down to them being good in big game matchups, and this is another one of those reasons, another one of those moments right there. I'm looking at, again, and it has to be the case, Ty. I mean, not Ty. I'm looking at Arch in this situation right here.
Get him on a plane with Herb Street. He could go to both games.
He probably could. There's a Bama booster there. Get him there.
Probably.
But a 4-game winning streak right now going on for them. Momentum is good for Texas and how they're playing football. They seem to have kind of flipped the switch a little bit. I do believe in this game they're going to have to lean heavy on their defense still. Georgia has the ability in these types of games and these matchups where Kirby plays those mind games is just making his bigs answer the call.
He's good in games like this.
Yes, he is. And that's where Texas got to be good in their trenches, and their defense is. The run defense is elite. They got first rounders up and down that roster. It's a matter of what Gunnar Stockton are you going to get to? Is he going to be asked to do a whole lot when it comes down to this matchup between those two guys? This is elite defense versus elite defense to me, and it will boil down to, honestly, I think the quarterback play more than anything, because I don't know how much of a run game either's going to have. What's his Nate the Great? I mean, he had a good showing, was it last week against Mississippi State? But they also kind of sputtered out of that one too, and not necessarily controlling that game until the talent level just kind of showed itself a little bit. Georgia's solid. Georgia will do what it does, and that's be good on the run game and also try to play good defense, but they're matched up really good against this Texas team and what they got going on. On top of momentum, 4 in a row for Texas when their season I thought was about to crash and burn. It's something that gives you a lot of mo going into these type of games right here. I got Georgia winning, but the matchup could get dicey if, again, that Georgia offense is controlled by this Texas defensive line.
Yeah, it does feel to me like Georgia's also peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
That win over Mississippi State was impressive. I thought that game would be tight in the fourth quarter. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was not tight in the third quarter. They totally separated that score quickly. And again, to your point, it's Nate Frazier running the ball.
It was.
181 yards rushing in that game. I don't know if you're going to have that same success, obviously, against Texas. But since the loss to Alabama, Georgia's won 5 in a row. Their defense has played better than what it showed in Neyland against Tennessee. Yeah. I still wonder about the Georgia offensive line against the Texas pass rush. That's where Texas has really started to play better. They are number 1 nationally in sacks per game at 3.78 sacks per game, 34 sacks overall. Colin Simmons with 8 sacks to lead the way this season. That is the matchup that Georgia has got to win. And at home, when you have the benefit of snap count of crowd noise working in your favor when the other team's on offense, and you obviously get a different kind of atmosphere when you are on offense. You get that inherent advantage. I'll be really interested to see how much Texas can affect Gunnar Stockton away from home.
So if it is a Gunnar Stockton game, then that means this too. So according to my stat line, Texas is a top 10. They're top 10 in rushing success rate allowed. They're also top 10 in yards per carry allowed. And this is the one where it could be problematic for Georgia if they get behind the sticks. They are top 10 in yards before contact. They're playing a different
It's a really good front seven.
Yeah.
Really good.
And it's good that offense kind of caught up to what that defense was providing anyway. I mean, what was the first game of the season? What was it? Ohio State lost 14-7?
Yeah.
That's the number 1 team in the country.
Their defense has been consistent all season.
Yeah, 14 points to Ohio State and what they are. Yeah, that's a different animal right there. So Gunnar Stockton, I personally think if that Texas defense plays this way again, or if they hold up to what their stat line is as far as stopping the run, Nate Frazier is going to have to sit back a little bit and wait on his opportunity. And what version of Gunnar Stockton do you get? And the only reason I bring that up for Gunnar Stockton is at some point your quarterback has to be the guy. I've seen their fans laughing at what Carson Beck has done at Miami this year because they got their tough guy, they got their hometown guy, and Gunnar Stockton. So I'm interested to see if he can pull another Neyland where he just corner throws, and he was on fire that game.
Yeah, he had to have an A performance to win that game, and he did.
And he did. And this is an A performance.
It still came down to a missed kick, but yes, he did.
Listen, I'm gonna do it too. Well, it came down to a missed kick. They should have lost that one, but they did. True. So the victor goes with spoils.
And Georgia pulls that off a lot.
The pressure Sarkisian though too. The coaching side of it. Some coaches just have that over their head. Kirby is the Sarkisian right now that I feel like Coach Klein was to whatever the other coach on the other side. You remember in the Water Boy where he just looks at him? Kirby got that effect, and you got to go to Athens. This is I'm sure that ticket is expensive. So I really want to see how this game unfolds right here for Sarkisian more than anything, especially since he's throwing his name into NFL conversations.
Well, I don't think anyone in his camp is throwing his name into NFL conversations. I think somebody out there at an NFL event had an NFL conversation about him, but the fact that his agency put out a statement.
That's fair. I'll take that back. That's fair.
I think that it is a really big challenge for Arch Manning. I think it's that simple. And Arch, who has feasted on lesser defenses in Mississippi State and Vanderbilt the last 2 times he has taken the field. Can you do it against Georgia? You were brought into Texas not to beat Mississippi State and Vanderbilt with 300-yard performances. You were brought in to beat Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State.
Yes, he was.
Those kinds of teams. Indiana, even though he would not have been brought into. I don't think on his recruiting pitch they're saying, hey, Arch, you're going to come in and have a chance to play playoff games against teams like Indiana. That definitely was not ever said. But this is the kind of step forward he's going to have to take to really be considered, where a lot of us were considering him before the season as one of the elite quarterbacks of the sport.
So if this is the case for Arch, and he goes to Athens and win, this will be 5 straight
It's a big
for him.
if.
I know.
But
I'm looking at it. These 5 that he's beaten, 4 so far. Oklahoma when they were ranked 6, without Mateer. We'll add that to Kentucky, Mississippi State, beat Vandy. If he takes Georgia down, does he have to come out of the draft? I know he doesn't have to.
He doesn't.
But the conversation of him being out and being a top 3 quarterback drafted next year, does that conversation change?
I think that ship has sailed. I think
we're leaving that one alone.
He was so inconsistent at the beginning of the season that I don't think that Arch Manning is a 2026 quarterback prospect.
Just wondering if you're going to go off the potential in big game.
No.
Well,
he needs
real
to play
quick,
more.
because this is what we do. If it was anybody else in this situation, would they leave if it wasn't Arch?
No, I don't think so, because I think that everyone's different, I guess. Like, everyone can make their own decisions, but he hasn't played a lot of football. Yeah. That's the thing. But as far as draft process goes, like, you've got to crush it in your small sample size.
But in
order to go to the NFL draft with as small of a sample size as he has. And he hasn't.
We say that. And unless we're trusting the NFL to make big decisions like this, well, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones would also like to have a seat at that table.
But look at the seasons that they had in order to take one special year and go pro. Like, Arch hasn't had that entire body of work.
Trubisky, I guess, would be the closest one in that conversation.
His season was way better in his one season than what Arch has been.
I got to look at Mitch's senior season, whichever it was. I'm just looking at it because the momentum, the conversation of you go when you're hot.
Sure.
That's the only reason I bring that up. If it wasn't Arch and Arch wasn't already a multimillionaire, that may be a different conversation.
Mitch Trubisky, in his one season as the full-time starter at North Carolina, completed 68% of his passes for 3,700 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Okay. Like, even if you are a one-year wonder quarterback, that 1 year better be special. And even if Arch Manning wins at Athens, it's not going to change the fact that his entire body of work this year has not been what we expected it to be.
Understood.
He's thrown for 2,100 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 picks, 7.9 yards per attempt. He's completed 63% of his passes at 7.9 yards per attempt. I mean, it's still not terrible numbers, but relative to the expectations, relative to what it would take for him to crush it down the stretch and go pro, you never say never in football, but I would be very surprised.
Another one that comes to mind, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. But again, Kenny Pickett was in New York as a Heisman finalist.
That's a long way from where he was. Yeah, I think he was.
Kenny Pickett threw for 4,300 yards, 42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, completed 67% of his passes, finished 3rd in Heisman voting in 2021.
He got hot.
Yeah, he did. Okay. I mean, like, you can get hot. And again, too, he played 52 games in college. He's a different case because he had freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year film.
Yeah.
Arch just got his redshirt sophomore film.
That's crazy.
Coming up, 615-737-1045, intel on the Arkansas job from On3's Pete Nakos. Some names starting to emerge in Fayetteville we'll tell you about next. Hey, it's Will Bowling for my friends at Brentwood Hearing Center, whose doctors of audiology are always committed to providing patients with the most recent hearing device technology. Over the next couple of months, you're going to have a lot of family over, company over. Maybe you are thinking about someone right now who does not hear as well as they used to. You've been trying to convince them, hey, let's just go see somebody. Let's get you the best technology out there so I'm not constantly having to repeat myself when we're talking. I know you're thinking of that family member right now. Brentwood Hearing Center can help. They have got the best technology on the market. It connects wirelessly to your smartphone, to your television. It's like having surround sound as you're watching games over the holidays as well. If you're having difficulty hearing as well, where there's background noise, you're in a crowded restaurant, you're hearing the tables around you, not the person in front of you, Brentwood Hearing Center can help with that too. Give them a call, 615-377-0420, or visit them online at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. They will help you get off the sidelines and back in the game. Online at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. That's Brentwood Hearing Center. Better hearing, better life. Lee Company's annual food drive, Vans for Cans, is in full swing. Now until Friday, November the 21st, Lee Company will be collecting canned food items and other non-perishable goods in partnership with local food banks to provide meals for our neighbors in need this Thanksgiving. You can also donate online at leecompany.com/Vans, the number 4 cans. Every dollar donated equates to 4 meals given. Make a difference with Lee Company and this year's holiday food drive by visiting leecompany.com/Vans, the number 4 cans through Friday, November the 21st. I love partnering with Lee Company because of things like this. They are members of our community here for over 80 years, trusted since 1944. Lee Company loves giving back. They are proud partners of the teams, the high school programs around this area, and they want to help out this holiday season as well. Head online for this year's holiday food drive by visiting leecompany.com/Vans for cans now through Friday, November 21st. So as the coaching carousel turns, the rumor mill has been hot about Arkansas. Ramona Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee, wrapping up the first hour of your Friday morning. Pete Nakos of On 3 says that a number of names are still in the mix for the next Arkansas Razorback head coach, the head hog, if you will, in Fayetteville. Arkansas made a run at SMU's Rhett Lashley, he says, a former quarterback of the Razorbacks who has signed a contract extension to stay with SMU. Arkansas has also pursued former Penn State coach James Franklin, who is a top name in the Virginia Tech search. But Pete Nakos says the Razorbacks are not limiting their search to just Franklin. Sources across the industry tell On 3 that Tulane's John Summerall, USF, and former Tennessee offensive coordinator Alex Golish, Memphis's Ryan Silverfield, and North Texas's Eric Morris are names to know. There has also been interest in former Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald and Minnesota's PJ Fleck.
PJ? Wow. He will leave?
It's hard to row the boat in a landlocked state like Arkansas, but maybe he would be able to do that.
Well, they got a lot of great duck hunting down there, so he can row it in a blind somewhere.
There you go.
So look at that. There's hope for him.
Would James Franklin succeed at Arkansas?
I feel like some schools just have a hard cap on him, man. I think he'll be relevant as heck at Arkansas. Unless Arkansas to me has to be a school that pulls out the stops that Texas Tech has done to revamp themselves. I think the brand is taking so much of a hit right now. The location of where they are, from what I've been told about where Fayetteville, Arkansas is just hard for recruits to just want to be in. Now, again, how do you trust James Franklin in Arkansas to build up something like this coming back to the SEC whenever he pretty much just got booted out of one of the best places in all of college football?
Well,
there has to be a lot of money behind this.
What are you trusting him to do, though? What are you asking James Franklin to do?
James Franklin, to me, will get them relevant. I don't know if I picture with what the SEC is right now that they're going to be a front runner around the SEC the way he had Penn State in the Big Ten.
So I think in order to know if James Franklin is going to meet expectations, that if he's going to be a success, you have to define what success is at Arkansas. With the money that they have and the Tyson chicken nuggets they can throw at that football program,
and Walmart,
they have the funds and the money and the dollars and the facilities and the you name it, to be near the top of the SEC. Now, money isn't everything. It is not fertile recruiting ground. The state of Arkansas is not an elite high school football state. You are also competing with neighbors to your east and west and north and south. I mean, in all directions. It's hard to keep your best talent in state. When Arkansas was at their peak under Bobby Petrino, they were keeping a lot of generationally good Arkansas high school football players in Arkansas.
Yep.
That, I don't know if that's really all that sustainable. Like some of the recruiting classes, I've heard Stephen Godfrey talk about this on the College Football Inquirer. Some of the recruiting classes that Petrino got to go to Arkansas were like once in a generationally good Arkansas high school football recruiting classes. Classes that have not since come through that state and been able to be Razorback players, which is part of the reason why Bobby Petrino has not had the same success since then. He kind of benefited when the stove was really hot. He was able to cook. Stove's not been as hot. I think James Franklin, for who Arkansas is in the SEC, would be a fine choice for them. The question is, what are the moneymakers and decision makers expecting? Are they really going to throw money at him and try to replicate what Lane Kiffin has done at Ole Miss? Okay, well, James Franklin is going to be able to get you in that neighborhood. Can he get you the biggest house in the neighborhood? Probably not. But if you want to be in the mix, and if you want a 10-win season once every 4 years, then yeah, sure. But the money you're investing is probably going to have to be championship-level money in order for James Franklin to get Arkansas with those resources and that recruiting ground and that schedule into relevance.
And that's, I guess, the expectation. And Bobby Petrino, 11-2 there, went to the Cotton Bowl and won. That's big time for them. And then since him, They got 9 wins in 2021 under Sam Pittman and went to the Outback Bowl. So you're asking me what gets Arkansas over the top? It is, okay, what is it, 9 wins? Is sufficient enough for their standard? Like,
What how much money they're spending. That's the thing.
But see, but I feel like that's what James Franklin just went through at Penn State.
Yeah, it is.
It's exactly the same in a
100% is
much harder situation that he's got to build back up. Like, and I know with the the stuff that they had going on right before he took that Penn State job is unique, but this one is a competitive side of situation. This isn't a reputation situation that he's got to build up Arkansas's reputation also. So 8-4, yeah, absolutely, he should take that job. Like you said, considering what he has to the left and to the right of him with LSU and Texas, and to the north of him with Oklahoma.
Right.
That's a different world that he has to live in moving forward.
To me, if I'm Arkansas, I am going more with the Alex Golish / Eric Morris route.
Yes.
To me, at a lesser program like that is never going to have the recruiting resources to consistently win recruiting battles against the likes of Alabama, LSU, Mississippi teams. I mean, Ole Miss being in there, but also Texas and Oklahoma, who are your next door neighbors as well. I think you try to do more with less from a tactician standpoint, with scheme and with coaching and with drawing up plays, more so than you try to get a quote-unquote program-building CEO. Like, those CEOs are only as good as their employees / resources to run a business. James Franklin is not a tactician that is going to go in a back room and draw up plays to get his 3 and 4 stars open against the other team's 4 and 5 stars. So you've either got to start throwing enough money at your football program to give that guy 4 and 5 stars that he needs to be successful, or you need the equivalent of a Josh Heupel. Tennessee did this. Tennessee admitted and said, we're not winning enough recruiting battles against Georgia and Alabama and Florida and our biggest rivals. Let's get our NIL funds and our war chest ready. That way, A, we could start winning more of these as one-offs, but also close this gap with tactics, with strategy, with scheme. Because you can't just go toe-to-toe like Tennessee tried to do with Jeremy Pruitt and play pro-style offense and slow down the game and have no schematic advantage and beat teams that are going to do the same thing but better than you are.
And here's the other part of it, too. Their permanent opponents, have you said them already?
No.
Arkansas?
I've not said them already.
LSU, Texas, Missouri.
I mean, they probably got the hardest ones, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, and if Drink would stay at Missouri, that's not an easy matchup ever for Arkansas moving forward right now. Right. But Texas, LSU, and Missouri he's got to get 2 of those 3 every year to be relevant. And then I think with who he is, that's his expectation.
615-737-1045 is our number. We will start with Landon on the phones as we begin hour 2. Plus, how do the Titans get the run game going against the Houston Texans, and who should be the main running back in that run game? We'll talk about it next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. It's that time of the year where you start turning on the heater and, hey, you don't want to hear a shake, rattle, or roll in it. And if you don't want that, I'm telling you, the company that you need is Hiller, man. They do HVAC works. They maintenance it. They do prevention work more than anything, too. If you have a plumbing issue around the house because Big Unc is messing up the bathrooms, guess what? You can call Hiller for those, or small electrical emergency. Mine wasn't even an emergency. I called Hiller over to set up my outdoor cameras, man. It's small voltage type stuff, and they did an awesome job with it. Got me up and running in no time. The cool part about them is this, man. The price you told is going to be the price that you pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill. Their motto has been, and they truly believe in it also, happy you'll be or the service is free. You don't last for over 35 years in this world without being good at it. They're also family owned and operated also. So to learn more about Hiller, to book with them like I do, you can go to their website or you can also call them. I'll give you the website right now. It's happyhiller.com. And make sure you tell them Ramon sent you. Genesis Diamonds presents the holiday love event. I got to get myself together, but it's the biggest and final sale of the year. Mark your calendars for next weekend. Yes, November 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, where you can enjoy store-wide savings up to 20, 30, 35% off. Engagement rings, earrings, pendants, bands, and bracelets. This is the biggest and final store-wide sale of the year. If you've lived here for a while, you know that this is an event that everybody waits for. Acclaimed designers will be here with their entire collections. Even luxury pre-owned Rolex watches are included. Zero interest financing is also available, and the staff know they can break all the rules during this 3-day, $30 million sale. Get moving on that fall engagement too, or shop early for Christmas, or reward yourself now with a stunning Rolex watch. Whatever the occasion, don't miss this incredible savings event. Up to 35% off Genesis amazing everyday low prices store-wide. I'm talking colored gemstone jewelry, the latest designer creations, diamond classics. Get the best price of the year. It's 3 days only, November 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, exclusively at Genesis Diamonds. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
.702, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Week 11 of the NFL season kicked off last night for Thursday Night Football. The Patriots handled the Jets 27-14. Drake May throws 281 yards and a touchdown, but it was the rookie running back Travion Henderson show as he scored 3 touchdowns in the win, 2 rushing and 1 receiving. Patriots get their 8th straight win and improve to 9-2 on the season. The Titans, fresh off of the bye week, host the Texans this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. Davis Mills will get his 2nd consecutive start as C.J. Stroud was officially ruled out yesterday with a concussion. Jalen Petrie and Kaimi Fairbairn also ruled out for Sunday. For the Titans, defensive tackle Jeffery Simmons returned to practice yesterday in limited fashion, which leaves his return to play possible. On Sunday, Lee Company countdown to kickoff starts at 9 a.m., followed by Titans countdown at 11. Then it's Taylor Zarzour, Coach Dave McGinnis on the call for Titans and Texans starting at noon. In other NFL news yesterday, 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan announced yesterday that quarterback Brock Purdy will start this Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Purdy hasn't played since Week 4. Tomorrow is homecoming on Rocky Top as the Tennessee Vols host New Mexico State at Neyland Stadium. Kickoff is at 3:15 p.m. Central Time. Mike Keith, Ramon Foster on the call for Vol Network. Coverage starts on the Zone at 1 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 2 on your Friday morning edition of Ramon and Will. Glad you're with us. Hope you're having a great start to your morning. We're fueled by Scooters Coffee as always in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Going to talk Titans and Texans in just a moment. How they get the run game going against a defense, Ramon, that is good at stopping the pass and the run.
What you say? I was reading something.
It's okay. That's okay. I said in just a minute, we're going to talk about how the Titans get the run game going against a defense that's really good against the pass and the run.
That's on me right there,
That's
man.
okay. Let's just go to the phones.
Left him speechless.
You did.
Let's go to Landon. Wants to talk some college football this morning. Hey, Landon.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Appreciate you taking my call.
Yep.
Just a kind of a simple question for me. Talking about Josh Heupel, of course, I'm a big Tennessee fan. What are the chances that you guys think that he might be looking for a reset after this year? I haven't heard a whole lot of talk about that. Heard a little bit about it. Just curious what your thoughts might be.
What do you mean by reset?
Meaning going somewhere else?
Leaving Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Landon. Appreciate the call. I would be completely stunned if that happened.
Yeah. I look at the history of it, being that Danny White brought him in. I think that pays it forward somewhat when it comes down to their relationship. But it's LSU, right?
We'll see. I would be totally shocked.
It's LSU. If I can now, I guess when you look at that question right there, which one I guess means more? Which one do you have a differing opinion of? Because I look at Clark Lee being his alum, right? And
being at his alma mater.
I'm tripping. He is the alum. Being at his alma mater. And there's conversation of him going to LSU. I look at Heupel, there's no attachment to him other than Danny White. So the conversation at least is going to get him a raise.
Sure.
At a minimum, this is if there's any traction behind this,
right.
If there are any legs underneath this conversation, it's going to at least do that.
Well, if you'll stick around with us, Landon, we'll ask Brent Hubbs in 15 minutes. Imagine his answer is going to be similar to ours. I would be very, very, very surprised if Josh Heupel gave up on what is already a really good thing he's got going at Tennessee and tried to get more from a program that looks as dysfunctional as Tennessee was 10 years ago at LSU, and a university that's not aligned the way that he's got alignment at Tennessee between Donnie Plowman, the chancellor, Randy Boyd, the university president, Danny White, his director of athletics. When he goes to them and asks for something, I think he gets it.
I agree.
At LSU, who are you going to ask for things from? Who is the alignment? Who is aligned there? I don't see a lot of it. There's a lot of new people in place there that are trying to get them aligned and all rowing in the same direction again. But you get the governor out here taking away the AD's responsibilities, like as you start a coaching search. And then now you've got the university claiming like, oh, well, the old AD wasn't acting on our behalf when we fired Brian Kelly, so we're going to try to get some money back. Like it just...
Who technically hadn't been fired yet.
Yeah, I know, but Blaine and Zach, I guess, did something about this. I didn't hear it yesterday.
It's been reported, yeah.
It's fun to play the speculation game in sports talk radio and rank jobs, talk about what if I'd like to deal in the reality that this is just not going to happen. So. You never say never. Again, Tony Vitello went to the San Francisco Giants. Anything can happen for the right conversation, the right amount of money, the right ... That being said, I would be completely stunned if Josh Heupel left Tennessee this offseason. Completely stunned.
I would too. Just thinking about it, it seems like it should make sense. Like you said, their alignment that they have is pretty unique with Heupel, Dundee, and the president also. It's going to be fascinating. I saw it be brought up, but nobody's really talked about it in depth like this.
We'll ask Brent in 15 minutes. I imagine it will be a similar answer, though.
Yeah.
Coming up. How do the Titans get the run game going against the Texans? Ramon, you said it earlier this week. Guys have said it in the locker room. Mike McCoy has talked about it. The way that you convert more third downs is by running the football more effectively on first and second downs. This Texans defense has generated pressure on 36% of dropbacks this season. That is the 11th highest rate in the NFL, but they do so quickly. They are averaging 2.54 seconds to pressure. So when they get pressure, on average, it is at the second fastest rate in the NFL this season. Would you like to see more Tyjae Spears, Ramon, in this offense, or are you still riding with Tony Pollard as RB1?
I still ride with Tony Pollard on this one. I think especially against a team like this, I look at Pollard as more of a downhill power back. He tried to get every bit of extra yards that he possibly can. I know Tyjae does too, but the build is just a little bit different. And what you're asking them to do, I see him more up the middle power than I do see Tyjae. Tyjae, I feel like, needs to be going more side to side. Now, he's committed and kind of told us and shown us that he will go up in, between B gap to B gap too. But essentially, Tony, to me, this is his type of ball game when you look at how they get the run game going. And I want to go ahead and just answer that, too, because it's this. Bo Hardegree and Nick Holtz have to be very uncomfortable calling plays this upcoming weekend, meaning one way to keep Cam Ward safe is to put the ball on the ground time and time again. 1st and 10, run the football.
And stick with it even if the score gets a little separated.
And that's why I feel like the separation between the commitment to a type has it's been the inexperience of the position, I feel like. Mm-hmm. It's been, okay, that's not working, let's switch something else. No, sometimes you got to kind of continue to plant those seeds and plow that field, and eventually you'll see some growth. That's a great agricultural analogy right
that's
there.
Your West
like
Tennessee
that?
show.
That's my West Tennessee. But again, I mean that, though. Like, I'm all for not fighting City Hall, but at some point you have to impose your will on the opposing side of the ball, and that's what I don't think they've done at all this year. Think about the Derrick Henry era. 20 reps. By 21, 22, the rock has cracked. I'm not calling these guys. Usually. Mm-hmm. I'm not calling him Derrick Henry. They're nowhere in that conversation with him. But what I'm getting at is the commitment that this thing is going to work for us, and it has to, because right now Cam's not where you want him to be at.
The question is, if you know that Tony Pollard is likely playing in his last season as a Titan, and you want to know if Tyjae Spears can handle more of a workload, at what point in the season, Ramon, do you go more to Tyjae just to let him audition for one of the RB1, RB2, RB 2.5, 3, whatever it is, jobs in 2026? Where is that balance between preparing for the future, yet also trying to put your offense in the best position to be successful in the present?
The issue is there is no balance. There's absolutely nothing there for Tyjae at this point.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think there's something there for him. Like,
what I'm
something
getting
is,
at,
do you make him the starter? Trying to see if he can handle it.
This group won't determine that next year. That's the issue that you have.
The office might help.
If they're making coaching decisions, just come down and grab a Wilson.
I'm not saying they're making coaching decisions.
Yeah, but
I'm saying the kind of running back they go get in free agency could dictate who their guy is. Like, if they want to go spend top dollar again like they did on Tony Pollard, then yeah, we get our answer.
Yeah, no doubt.
If they don't address that, or maybe bring someone in later in the draft with the expectation that, hey, Tyjae is your guy, I'm not saying they're coaching decisions.
No doubt. I get what you're saying.
It's personnel decisions.
But personnel decisions, most definitely.
Right.
Yeah. It's a matter of, like you said, how successful does he also make himself? This is also on Tyjae, too. If he has a breakout run and he shows that he's got that spurt, the next coach coming in is going to your point, want him to be here if the front office also say so, too. It's a tricky situation for him. It really is, and I haven't given you a real answer about when you start asking him to do those things, but I don't think they have an answer about what this offense is going to look like, how they're going to use him. I do think he will be around, but him being the premier back, that's a hard stance to
You're
take.
just not focused on that. You're not focused on guys trying out for the 2026 team this year.
Because this group that's coaching them, they don't matter, respectfully.
Okay. Zach in Hendersonville joins us now before we get to Brent Hubbs on the other side. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Ramon, Will, Justin. Not a lot of names to bring up, but I just have a few things to say about some Aggies, so let's get it. New Mexico State legend Diego Pavia.
Man, you ain't
Knew
handsome.
that one was coming.
All right, that's the list. All right, to the poems. Sipping on full fours, a rail car packed with hobos, a box of ho-hos, a fat dude playing the oboe, a pack of double stuffed Oreos. The Aggies are going to be an afternoon snack for the Big Horns, so get out your sandwich baggies. It don't matter. Balls by Philly.
Yes, sir, Zach.
Thank you, Zach. Appreciate the call.
Does not matter,
He
baby.
said Diego Pavia. All right, end of list.
End of the list. Way to bring it together right there, Zach.
The thing is, this one, Tennessee actually could win by 50.
Yeah,
so
they could. That's the expectation.
let's break it down and let's ask Brent Hubbs about Josh Heupel. Brent Hubbs of AllQuest joins us after this on 104.5 The Zone.
Prince's Hot Chicken, the original hot chicken. They know a thing or two about hot, so they are bringing you the hottest moments of the week from Ramon and Will. Justin Hawkins here. This is a segment I like to call Prince's Hot Mic.
My next one is the Battle of the Orphans, man.
Oh, wow. Okay. Battle of the Orphans.
Yeah.
Who's an orphan in college football?
LSU and Arkansas.
I was going to say, are the two Pac-2 teams playing again? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Okay.
Daddy abandoned them, man. So
Okay.
It's time to for them to fight it out, man. I don't even know who LSU's interim head coach is right now, man.
Frank Wilson is their interim head coach.
Sir, yes, sir. Coach Frank Wilson.
Is that stepdad?
It is pretty stepdad. Right
He's
now.
he's the dad that stepped up.
Yeah, I'm a product of a stepdad, so we can make that joke. Okay. There we go.
Hot mics and hot chicken. Prince's knows hot. Prince's Hot Chicken, the original hot chicken.
Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. Friday edition rolls on with 11-year NFL veteran involved for life, Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling, joined as we are at this time every Friday by our good friend Brent Hubbs of VolQuest and On3. Lots to discuss as always. Brent, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. Hope you guys are well on this Friday.
Yes, sir. Excellent. What is a successful day at the office look like tomorrow, Brent, for Tennessee against New Mexico State?
End it early. Eliminate any thoughts of this game being a 4-quarter game, and then you get to young players and you get your evaluation of your younger guys in there. That's what, to me, success in this game is. Obviously, you win the game, but in doing so, you get your starters off the field as quickly as you can, and you get to evaluating and seeing some guys that you haven't gotten a chance to play much the last month, just to evaluate where they are, where you are with them, where they are with you, as you get ready to move into the month of December and early January, which is obviously all about roster management.
Brent, is there anyone that comes to mind when you mention that, one or two guys that maybe you think could get more opportunities over these final 3 games and specifically starting this weekend?
Well, I don't know about the final 3, but for this game in
Sure.
particular, I mean, obviously the quarterback position is where everybody's going to start. Is this an opportunity to get George McIntyre on the field? You haven't seen George play since the ETSU game. So where is George at in his development? Where is he at physically? Where is he at mentally? If you can get him to the field and get him some real work and let him run this offense, what does that look like? I think that's important to get an evaluation there. I think it's important to get a guy like Bennett Warren on the field at offensive tackle. Where do you think you are with him? Where does he think he is with things? So I think that one would be important. Defensive line. Marion Dye, haven't seen him in a few weeks. Certainly getting some work with him. A guy like Christian Gass off the edge is a Leo. If you can get him on the field in the second half to get him some work to see kind of where he's at. Christian's a guy who missed all of spring practice with injury and most of fall camp with injury. So he's trying to play catch up. How much catch up has he played during the last couple of months of the season? So I think there's a number of guys like that at all the positions that you would like to get to, provided that your starters have the motivation they need to have and come out and play this game and take care of business. And that's I won't say the biggest challenge, but that's certainly the challenge coming out of the loss to Oklahoma.
No doubt about it. We're joined by Brent Hubbs of VolQuest and On3. Hubbs, one question we don't really usually, talk a lot about is the special team side of things too. Finding out those guys. I would say, it's 2 guys in particular. Kind of had a little bit of a back and forth on special teams. One as of late, and that's Boo Carter, and also the other one's Max Gilbert. Man, as far as PATs and field goals, the consistency of that. How do you see special teams playing a part in this? At what point do you start to either ask questions or make decisions?
Well, I mean, with Max Gilbert, the question is going to be is all about a pressure kick and how does he handle himself there more than anything else. So I don't know that you're going to get an opportunity to really evaluate that one on Saturday if things go the way that it goes. You hope you're kicking a bunch of PATs and not a bunch of field goals there. The punt return question is a great question, Ramon, because what do you do there? Is this an opportunity that you look at who do you look at? DeJuan Morris? Do you give him a look back there? Is this a game that you do that? Where are you with Boo Carter? If somebody can figure out where they are with Boo Carter and give me a call after this segment and explain it to me, I would love to hear it. I would love to get an understanding and a feel for what that's been all season long, because it's been all over the map, it feels like. If you get in a situation in this game, particularly in the second half, and you can put somebody else back there, I think you take an opportunity to do that and figure out, who potential options are to be your punt return guy moving forward, certainly into next year. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have a good answer for you on Boo Carter, but I don't have a good answer about that one at all, that situation at all.
No doubt about it. Hubbs, I feel like this past game against Oklahoma, that defense it showed up in a way that I don't think we've seen in a while. What does Tim Banks do to get that version of this defense the rest of the season, even against New Mexico State? they have to be that version of themselves down the stretch, man, to get to a respectable record.
Well, they got to tackle, and that's where they were better against Oklahoma more than anything else. They still gave up a couple of explosives. They gave up the long scramble to the quarterback on 3rd and long. Getting off the field on 3rd down was better, but it's still problematic at times. But the biggest thing they did was tackle in that game. They came in averaging 12 missed tackles a game. They had 5 missed tackles against Oklahoma. They were much better in space and tackling. Oklahoma didn't. They're not the biggest vertical threat. Tennessee played teams that could get by them much easier than Oklahoma can, particularly with where Materia is coming back off that injury. So maybe it was a little easier to play downhill and tackle in space because you weren't worried about getting beat over the top. Maybe that's why Redmond was better. Maybe that's why Farouk was better. But they've got to play, particularly in the back end, they've got to play in space well. And they were better in space against Oklahoma than they have been this season. So I think that's what you're trying to build off of if you're Tim Banks.
Brent Hubbs of All Quested on 3, also on the Vol Network broadcast. You will hear tomorrow here on the station with Ramon Foster, Mike Keith, Jason Sway, and the entire crew. Brent, what has the week looked like for Jermod McCoy? Do we have any more clarity about his status for the final 3 games of the season?
No clarity. He is working. He's done more this week than he's done at any point in time since the injury in terms of practicing with the team. He's taken some second-team reps, and he's certainly been involved and done things. I do think he's battling some soreness in the knee, and where that soreness is will be a factor in whether or not he returns or when he returns. So it doesn't feel like he's going to return on Saturday. So you'll be asking the same question next Friday, probably, on whether or not he's going to be on the travel list. We'll see how they list him next week on the injury report. So we'll have a better feel, next Wednesday on kind of where he is and what they do. Because if they don't list him as out next Wednesday, then we're in a different conversation. But there is no injury report this week, so it's a little bit of a guesswork. And he has done more and has moved closer to playing, but I'm not sure he's there at this point right now.
So, Brent, at this point of the coaching carousel, this may be a really stupid question, but Tony Vitello is the new coach of the San Francisco Giants. So I guess anything can kind of technically happen in coaching carousel world and with jobs. Is there anything to Josh Heupel and LSU or any of these openings? It feels like maybe there's a balance we've got to strike here between, are there hot boards saying that this would work from some team's perspective? Or maybe is there actual smoke? Is there actual conversations being had? What is your feeling on Josh Heupel at Tennessee and interest, if there is any, from other jobs?
Well, first of all, Lane Kiffin left in the middle of the night, so anything is possible.
That's true.
And that's how you have to view this in covering a program as a beat guy or whatever. If you say nothing is possible, there's no chance, it's impossible, then the next thing you know, who knows what happens. Do I think Josh Heupel will be the coach at Tennessee next year? I do. That's what I believe. Is his name going to pop up on boards? We've seen it. We've seen it on some of the LSU boards. We've not seen it on some of the LSU boards. The thing about the LSU hot boards is where are those guys getting information from? Who's in charge at LSU? Who would be your sources to say here's your top 3 or 4 candidates for the job? And I'm not knocking those guys. I'm just saying they're subscribers and their listeners and everybody's asking for candidates, and somebody say, well, what about this guy? Well, yeah, possibly. Well, what about this guy? Well, I guess, yeah, possibly. Well, what about him? I guess, because we don't know what's going on in that situation in terms of who's making the decision and all those things. Agents are obviously always trying to get their coach's name out there and those types of things. So, again, I would say you never say never in this business and in this world, but I think Josh Heupel. I don't think Josh Heupel is going to be LSU's next coach. That's my feeling as of today. But you're dumb in this business if you work in this business to say absolutely no chance, because as you mentioned, Tony Vitello ended up there. Bill Belichick's at North Carolina. There are crazier things that have happened in the coaching circle, and there's a lot of good jobs open right now. How deep is the candidate pool for those guys? I think that's the other thing. It's like Florida, okay? Everybody knows Florida's going after Lane Kiffin. That's who they want. Where do they go if they don't get Lane Kiffin? Okay, are they going to go back down to the Sun Belt level and get an unproven commodity at the Power 4 level? I mean, that didn't work. Typically, you do something opposite of what you've just done. If you have a defensive-minded coach, you generally go get an offensive coach. If you have an offensive-minded guy, you go get a defensive guy. If you go get if you have a finesse coach, you go get a physical guy. You know, I mean, so I think that's what you're trying to figure out with all these jobs that are open, like who lands where, because there's a lot of different chess pieces to move around. Obviously, Jimmy Sexton, agent for the Coaching Stars, is involved in and helping place a lot of those people in a lot of places. So that also means some guys are going to get a lot of raises out of it. We've already seen some of that. So it'll be a wild carousel here, really crank it up here in the next couple of weeks.
Hubs, on that same front, when you look at these jobs that are available, and heck, who knows what's to come of it? Louisville plays Clemson tonight. I'm not sure where Dabo is as far as safety goes for the University of Clemson University. But have you ever seen this type of like value in coaching jobs in a coaching circle before? I mean, in a cycle like this, Hubs?
Well, I mean, to have this many open this early is different. And I think that's the unique part of this. Schools willing to pay big buyouts. You know, I mean, I think Dabo's buyout at Clemson something like $60 million or something like that. It's like I don't know about all that, but I mean, you also have LSU, you know, and Brian Kelly in a lawsuit over how much money they're going to try to pay. So, you know, it seems like the patience level is not real high with people. I don't know the big advantage is Virginia Tech ahead of everybody else right now because they made an early decision on their coach? I can't say that they are. I mean, you know, I mean, they obviously like James Franklin. I think James Franklin's holding out for something else, or he's trying to leverage for something else. Arkansas went early. Where's that coaching candidate? Where's that search at? So, I mean, I think what's different about coaching searches now, Ramon, the pecking order feels different than it's ever felt. And what I mean by that is you had real tier schools. Okay, if you could get this job, it's a laydown. You're running. It's like Lane Kiffin. If 10 years ago somebody would have said, or 15 years ago, you're at Ole Miss and you could have the Florida job. Well, I mean, people are packing their bag and throwing their thumb out and hitchhiking down to Gainesville, Florida. How much better is the Florida job than the Ole Miss job right now? When you look at resources, NIL, and the things that are important for coaching success now, which is not necessarily all about tradition. It's not all about facilities. It's about financial funding. And where is that at compared to other schools? So I think that's what's going to make this carousel really fascinating. We're all waiting to see what's Florida State going to do, what happens with Mike Norvell down there. What if that job comes open? Add that into the candidate list or into the pool of coaching jobs. I mean, it could be really, really wild here the next 3 weeks. And I think that's why you're going to see some guys who maybe you never thought of going somewhere else. Their agent has their client's name out there because there's so many, quote, good jobs open already and likely some more to come.
I know we don't have this answer, but I have to ask it considering you got Texas Tech just pumping money out of the ground the way they do. But realistically, LSU with Brian Kelly's buyout, they need about $100 million in total, right? Or close to it with staff, recruits, the buyout of his and everything else. How much money, Hubs, is in college football? And I know it's not an answer, but like the conversation that if 8 wins isn't enough, 9 wins isn't enough, not getting to the college football playoffs or bust has created this standard, especially this year, that you will be fired and we don't care about the buyout. How much money is in it, Hubs?
At some places, it's as much money as they need to win.
Wow.
Now, that's not the case at every place, but at some places, if they can get organized and they can get themselves together, then, you know, these guys are playing like people are acting like it's monopoly money. I mean, you're right. You can't answer the question, but I mean, there's no way you make that move at LSU if you don't have a financial plan. You know, it's just like, I mean, Virginia Tech lets go of their coach, and what's the first announcement Virginia Tech makes after that?
$50 million.
we're going to pump $50 million into this program. We're going to put more money into this program than we've ever put in it. Translation, hey, we're a viable job for you. Okay, candidate B, A, C, D, whatever. You want to look at us because we do have money, even though we didn't have money for the last guy. That's the question about Arkansas right now. The last comment that their AD made basically said, hey, we don't have the resources to go win a championship right now in this league. Well, who's wanting that job?
Right.
You know, I mean, what's that candidate pool look like if you don't have the money? Now, maybe they found the money. I don't know. They've got a lot of, I mean, Walmart and Tyson Chicken. I mean, they've got money in that state if they want to put it into football. But I mean, that's my point, Ramon, is that's where candidates can drive things up, is not necessarily their salary or their buyout so much, but it's what resources are you putting into it? Because nobody's coming there if you don't have what you need for rev share and what you need for third-party NIL money. Because here's the thing about third-party NIL. It's no different than it was. I mean, they can talk about the controlling arm and approving all these deals and everything else. Man, these people out here spending money. Okay, these guys are getting money beyond whatever their, quote, third-party legit NIL deals are. That hadn't changed. They're not policing that. All the rev share number did was raise the floor on what your roster cost is. So instead of being a big spender at $15 million pre-rev share, now you're spending that $15 million in NIL plus $15 million in rev share. So now your roster number's $30 million instead of $15 million in football. That to me, that's all that's been accomplished by the rev share number right now, because there's still no policing of the NIL world outside of the university and the athletic department. When you talk about third party collective still involved and all those things.
Wow. That's well put. Brent, the most important question I could ask you today is that Ramon is on the record that he wants to end up on the Tennessee walking horse tomorrow.
Yes.
And Mike Kay in Franklin, in his weekly visit with us yesterday, Mike Keith said that they are working on a plan, right? That's what he said, Ramon? They're working on a plan. Are your sources telling you anything about this plan to get Ramon Foster on the Tennessee walking horse tomorrow?
Well, what I don't understand, Ramon, is how you let Austin Price get you started on Tuesday. Okay, you got to have your head on a swivel, greater awareness. I mean, goodness, you played in the offensive line. Didn't you learn to put your head on a swivel?
You're right on interceptions. He intercepted me is what he did.
I mean, and here's the other challenge, Ramon, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but how in the hell are you going to get up on the horse?
I asked myself that too. I did. There's got to be somebody there where, you know, you put your hands together right there and make a weave out of it. I'm stepping on somebody's hands and getting up there, okay?
Don't ask me for help.
Where's Ron Slay when you need him?
Listen, on one of those timeouts after field goal, I'm grabbing one of the offensive linemen and say, hey, come here real quick. Come here real quick.
No, I don't think so.
I just love the way Mike played along yesterday. We always have rain plans. This time we have a walking horse plan for Ramon.
Well, I mean, listen, if anybody can pull that off, it's Mike Kay.
That's true.
I mean, it is, if he can come up with something, because he's not afraid to think outside the box. And we need something for Ramon, because his flyover got canceled.
That's
crazy.
He's no longer doing a flyover. You're out. I mean, we're substituting your hand for some F-35s from Eglin Air Force Base, so we kind of upgraded there, Ramon.
Is it
so,
really?
Mike Kay might be able to find a way. If anybody can find a way to get Ramon on a horse, I'll go with Mike. But I'm not participating in such activities like that. I can't help you there, Ramon.
I appreciate your concern and also willingness to not help because you realize the situations we're in. We'll find our way to it, though. I at least got to pet it, Hubs. They at least got to let me pet the horse.
Man, that horse gonna come in, make a circle, and roll right back out the door.
That's right.
That's unfair to me. That's unfair to me.
VolQuest's Brent Hubs joins us Friday mornings at 7:20. Enough horseplay this morning. Brent, thank you as always. Appreciate the time.
Thanks for being childish with us, Hubs.
It's Friday. That's what I do.
Exactly.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
All right, Brent Hubs of VolQuest with us, presented by Ascend Federal Credit Union, your financial partner for every stage of life. Ramon's going to get there. He's going to go, Mike, can Can I get on the horse? You know what Mike's going to say?
What?
Nay.
Nah.
Coming up,
You
two
need
big
to
games
leave.
in the NFC to preview this weekend. Sunday Night Football, the 3 o'clock window, 2 major matchups we'll talk about next.
It's Ramon Foster from Medical House Calls. Listen, I've been talking about riding this Tennessee walking horse. I might have to call them after it, depending on how it makes my back feel, or if I just roll my ankle getting off of it. But here's what they can do for you. All of that. They can take care of your ankle, your back. They can get you IV, urgent care. Doesn't matter. They got what you need. The website is simple. It's the same as the name. It's medicalhousecalls.com. Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So, yes, they're ready for you before work or after work. And that's the convenience of what they provide is they come to you wherever you are. You can call or text them. They will assess what you need and get to you within minutes or whenever you need them to. And we understand that people are busy these days. You don't have time because of work, because of kids' schedules, or just because life starts to life on you. Just you call them or go to their email or go to their website. Set a time that's appropriate for you. You don't have to take the kids out of school, bring them to the ER room or any of those things, and they will get you together. Again, whether it's IV therapy, medical weight loss, urgent care, primary health care, they provide all of it. MedicalHouseCalls.com. Make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hayesville Bowling right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal, just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low, so act now. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 615-499-5780 and see how much cash you can get today. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Well, we've got to preview a loaded NFL weekend like we did the SEC weekend coming up. We're going to do that over the next few minutes. Aditi Kinkhabwala is going to stop by at 8:20. Ramona Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. Locally owned near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. We begin, Ramon, in the NFC where Seattle goes to Los Angeles. 3:05 on Fox. Joe Davis and Greg Olson on the call for this one. I think the best booth in the NFL.
You've always said that.
Calling the
about
best
man.
game this weekend in the NFL. That's no slight to any other booths. I just think those two are terrific. Third and fifth scoring offenses in the NFL going against one another. Seattle third, LA fifth. Is Sam Darnold good enough to win a game like this away from home? Seventh in the NFL in passing yards, third in passer rating. Sam Darnold's 9.9 yards per attempt leads the NFL. Who do you like in this one, Ramon?
I always choose Stafford. It sucks to say that because Sam Darnold's really kind of pulled himself up out of the dish that he was in as far as his reputation goes. He's proven that he can win football games more so now, especially with Geno Smith and how he looks like in Vegas too. Like, I think Sam Darnold has arrived. Now, here's the thing that Sam Darnold has. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yes, he does.
And that he is watering that flower as much as he possibly can, man. And I want to trust Stafford. I love the Rams defense too. And can he be comfortable, Sam Darnold, that is, behind that rush that they get after folks with too? Because as much as we talk about what Houston has with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., they got the exact same thing plus 2 D tackles inside of the LA Rams too. Can Sam Darnold do it? Yes. Do I think he'll do it this weekend? No.
Well, again, it comes back to the question we ask a lot about quarterbacks in a spot like this. What are you asking them to do?
That's true, too.
The Seahawks are 30th in rushing efficiency, LA 4th in run defense efficiency. On the flip side, similar weakness on the other end, but not quite as dramatic. LA 16th in running the ball. Seattle number 1 against the run in terms of run efficiency allowed. I'm not sure LA has a guy to take away Jackson Smith and Jigba, though. I think that's the difference. And corner is the weakness.
Yes, it is.
For the LA defense. You're asking the right question. Is their front seven good enough at disrupting Sam Darnold's timing with Jackson Smith and Jigba to where it doesn't matter who's covering him? I'm not sure it is. I like Seattle in this game. Maybe not to win. I like him to cover the 3 points. I'm just buying stock in Sam Darnold. I think he is ready to meet a moment like this. I think they're going to ask him to do a lot, and I think he's going to be able to because I don't love the L.A. secondary. That's what I think this comes down to. Now, L.A. can let Jackson Smith and Jigba get his and slow down everyone else and find success, but who is that next guy to step up? I think it's potentially a Kenneth Walker game in his ability to break a couple of big explosive runs. It, to me, feels like the kind of game with two teams, Ramon, who are so evenly matched. 1 or 2 explosives, 1 or 2 turnovers, a missed kick. It's the kind of game that comes down to about 4 or 5 plays. And so flip a coin and take your pick.
And they got one of the savviest guys out in Cooper Kupp being a part of this, too, on top of adding speed and being a distraction with Shaheed also in the trade that they just had. So, to your point, he's primed, and they've set him up for these moments, too, Will. It's a matter of the poise, and does that defensive line from the Rams get home? Because they're young, and Byron Young is going to get broken off at some point there, too.
The Detroit Lions head to Philadelphia. Go Vols is right. 7:20 on NBC. Sunday Night Football. The Philadelphia Eagles are 2.5-point favorites in this game. Great matchup between a running back who forces a lot of missed tackles and a defense that doesn't miss a lot of tackles. According to Next Gen Stats, the Detroit Lions defense has posted a missed tackle rate of 8.2% this season. That is the lowest in the NFL. Detroit has also allowed 228 yards after missed tackles. Also the lowest in the NFL. Saquon Barkley has not broken tackles to the same rate that he has last season, but it's still Saquon Barkley. What do you see in this matchup?
It ain't make or break for either one of them. But I do view this game as whoever wins this is going to catapult them, I think, far and above where they are right now, because we're talking about the Lions, who I thought was dead in the water after week 1, to now they got everything that you want. They got the defense together. They got the running game together. They got the attitude that they still have under Dan Campbell. And on the other side, I look at the Eagles situation. If they lose this type of game right here, what is it, Sunday Night Football too? Mm-hmm. If they lose this one at home to the Lions, who have gone on the road and beat good teams too, the Eagles may start to lose altitude. Is the way because they got issues inside of their locker room right now between the quarterback and the wide receivers. A.J. Brown, you got Nick Sirianni right now saying, don't ask me about A.J. Brown anymore. Like, it's that type of – the defense in itself, too, is albeit good, but have issues in itself, too.
Things you don't worry about when you're winning, you start to worry about.
You do. Now, against a good opponent like the Detroit Lions, though, if that defense comes out and put a cap over Jahmyr Gibbs and every other tool that they have – and Jared Goff looks like a pumpkin, too. I don't know why I'm using pumpkin so much. But if he looks like a rookie, then I think that takes the Eagles up a notch or two.
I like the Lions.
You like the,
I like the Lions to
win
the game. I think that they found something when Dan Campbell took over play calling duties last week. Taking over play calling duties from first-year OC John Morton. The Lions had been buoyed by explosive plays that they didn't need to be successful in the 44-22 win over the Washington Commanders on Sunday. Jameson Williams' involvement, I think, is the biggest difference with Dan Campbell calling plays versus John Morton. 6 catches for a team-high 119 yards and a touchdown. His first 100-yard receiving game since the Bears game in Week 2. Detroit ran for 226 last week and had 546 total yards. Jahmyr Gibbs bounced back after a career-low 28 scrimmage yards against Minnesota. That Minnesota loss at home against J.J. McCarthy might have been the best thing to happen to the Detroit Lions because it forced Dan Campbell to take over play calling, and they looked like a totally different offense. Give me Detroit to pull off the upset. I like both the underdogs in these NFC games because I believe that much in what Dan Campbell has done to change the way that offense is called.
And the way they think.
And I think Philadelphia, to your point, that crowd can get a little bit negative for the home team. If things are a bit boring and a bit negative, I don't think the home field advantage works in your favor when the crowd could be as toxic as it might be on Sunday night in the city of Brotherhood.
One word you use, boring. Yeah. I didn't think the
Their
Eagles would be boring.
Yeah, it is.
It shouldn't be boring.
And you know who agrees with that? A.J. Brown. Coming up, more NFL Week 11 preview. Titans and Texans going to do battle in Nissan Stadium. We'll get the latest from the injury report on both sides. Plus, Tampa Bay at Buffalo, Chiefs at Broncos, a couple of AFC games, and with one NFC team sandwiched in there, too, to preview next.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay, though.
Work, it's what we do, part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
.803, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Week 11 of the NFL season kicked off last night for Thursday Night Football. The Patriots handled the Jets 27-14. Drake May threw for 281 yards, a touchdown. But it was rookie running back Travion Henderson that was the star of the show, scoring 3 touchdowns in the win, 2 rushing and 1 receiving. The Patriots with their 8th straight win of the season, and they improved to 9-2 on the year. The Titans, fresh off of the bye week, host the Houston Texans Sunday at Nissan Stadium. Davis Mills will get his second consecutive start at quarterback as C.J. Stroud officially was ruled out yesterday with a concussion. Jalen Petrie and Kaimi Fairbairn were also ruled out for the Texans. Meanwhile, for the Titans, defensive tackle Jeffery Simmons returned to practice yesterday in limited fashion, leaving his return this Sunday possible. Sunday on The Zone, Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff starts at 9 a.m., followed by a Titans Countdown at 11. Then Taylor Zarzour, Coach Dave McGinnis have the call starting at noon for Titans and Texans. In other NFL news, 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan announced yesterday that quarterback Brock Purdy will start this Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Purdy hasn't played since back in Week 4. Tomorrow it's homecoming on Rocky Top as the Tennessee Vols host New Mexico State at Neyland Stadium. Kickoff is at 3:15 p.m. Central Time. Mike Keith, Ramon Foster have the call for Vol Network. Coverage starts on the Zone at 1 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show and hour number 3 getting started. Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. 104.5 The Zone with 11-year NFL veteran, Vol for Life, Vol Network analyst, retired flyover pilot, Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins, our producer. I'm Will Bowling. Aditi Kinkapala is going to join us in 15 minutes. Our very good friend from NFL on CBS, who will be on the sidelines for Chargers and Jags this weekend with her outstanding crew. She has spent so much time in AFC North locker rooms,
insane,
and including interviewing one Ramon Foster, that we figured we would bring her into the discussion we had about sitting head coaches who could maybe be options for the Titans, or even if they're not options, what do we learn from Mike Tomlin-led locker rooms, Kevin Stefanski teams, and all of the other coaches that, maybe could be interested if they were prematurely fired by their organizations.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see where her take is going to be on Stefanski. We talked a little bit about a month or so ago to Aditi, and we had an off-air conversation again, and it's, differing, I guess, information that's going from one side to the other. But you brought up yesterday him been having his play calling snatched away.
Sure.
She will probably have a better answer, clarity as to the why also. And I don't know, there's just a lot. Because if Stefanski is available, I would expect him to want to be in Nashville too. I mean, most coaches seem like they like that idea.
Sure.
And then the Mike Tomlin side of it for me too, she, like you said, she follows the AFC North intently. It's going to be fascinating.
These national broadcasters who sit in meeting rooms with head coaches know them as well as anybody in the league. So always great insight from Aditi, who we're looking forward to having on again in 15 minutes.
No doubt.
Davis Mills is likely to start at quarterback for the Houston Texans this weekend, as C.J. Stroud, Texans starting quarterback, was ruled out of Sunday's game against the Titans. Jeffery Simmons was limited yesterday on his return back from a hamstring injury. Maybe a chance you get him back. We'll get more clarity on that today and through the weekend as Mike McCoy gives game designations. I don't think it's a total foregone conclusion that one day of practice means Jeff is just automatically back in there, but we'll see. Davis Mills is 6-19-1 in 26 career starts as the quarterback of the Houston Texans. That is the worst record by any starting quarterback to make at least 25 starts since Davis Mills entered the NFL in 2021. Ramon, 2 questions for you. How much more hope do you have in the Titans' chance to win with Davis Mills in there at quarterback? And what is the Titans' pathway to moving the ball against the best statistical defense of the NFL?
A lot more confidence is what I would tell you if he's behind. No, because he is behind center. Just the perception of him as a quarterback in the NFL isn't good. You mentioned his record just a second ago, and there's a reason why he's a backup. You have to take advantage of guys like this in a situation to where they come to your place. There needs to be a home field advantage. He needs to feel the pressure of it. And if you also get Arden Key and Jeffery Simmons back this week, there is an opportunity for a non-mobile quarterback like himself who can move a little bit to get him off his spot, make him make bad decisions. Heck, they're a 4-5 team or 5-4 team right now, Houston. It's not like they're just running it or they're, above 500. This is a big opportunity for the Titans if the motivation is to win football games, and I expect that to be the case. He's not a threat to me is the way I view him at quarterback. Is he a veteran? Yes. Does he have good components around him? Yes. Do I trust him? No. Absolutely not trusting him. This is where you take advantage of backup quarterbacks if, offensively, the Tennessee Titans can complement their defense as well.
I know 3HL had the stat the other day that Davis Mills is 4-2 against the Titans in his career. Davis Mills is 2-2 against the Titans in his career. He did not play in 2 of those wins that the Texans had in 2023. So Davis Mills 2-2 against the Titans. And the last time he played against Tennessee, it was Week 18 last season. He went 12 of 22 for 128 yards, 5.8 yards per completion, and a 71.8 quarterback rating. He wasn't exactly the reason why they won that game. So
yeah, no doubt.
I know that stat was out there, and I heard 3HL talking about it. And technically, yeah, he's 4-2. He's played only in 4 of those games. He's 2-2. The Texans have been winning with defense regardless of who's a quarterback. And so, yes, it obviously gives you more hope. C.J. Stroud is a better quarterback than Davis Mills, but Titans are going to have to run the football in this game and have to take some pressure off of their quarterback. And talking to anyone in the locker room who has spoken to reporters this week, that's been the key. That has been the big emphasis. How do we play better on third downs? Stay out of third and long more.
Right.
And against 2 of the top 8 total pressures edge rushers at the NFL, and Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson, you're going to have to help out your quarterback and run the ball in early downs to give yourself a chance.
It is. I said, come on, I just replied to it in YouTube. You guys can check us out on YouTube, also Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
There you go.
That's all of them. There we go. It's like, Ramon, you shouldn't be confident, LOL. And I'm just like, yeah, well, the perception is more confident.
Yeah.
The perception is when the backup is in, you take advantage. And that's my standpoint and always has been. When you're playing any game with a backup guy, unless that guy is a first rounder that's waiting his time, it's blood in the water the way I view those types of situations right there. Now, I know James's point is probably, well, it's the Tennessee Titans you're speaking of. But the point is still,
syndrome.
I know, the BTS kicks up, man, on Fridays like this. But the point to be made is that guy's a backup for a reason. If your defensive starters are in the game, the opportunity to take advantage of him is real. If you are looking to, and that's the other part too, James, and Titans fans, if you're looking to win, which I expect this coaching staff should, pull a Gerard Mayo. You know what I'm saying? Like, go win football games because your reputation is still on the line. And Davis Mills being in, as a player that's got to play him, I wouldn't feel comfortable. I mean, I would feel very confident in going against him.
Coming up. What?
He's laughing at the battered Titan syndrome.
Oh, yeah, right.
It happens. It flares up from time to time. You know what cures him? Winning.
It'd be great.
It's been a while.
I would sign up for that.
Been a while.
On Sunday afternoon. Want to talk about Tampa Bay at Buffalo, Kansas City at Denver. We'll do that at the end of the hour. 2 big games of the AFC, 1 NFC team included in it. A great slate of NFL games this weekend. So we'll do that coming up.
Is this the time of the year where the NFL is starting to infringe upon everybody else's big games?
Let's get one thing straight. NFL's not infringing on anyone. Teams are trying to infringe and take 1% of interest in the NFL.
That's true.
They don't need to infringe on anybody. They are the show.
They are the show.
They are, yeah.
That holiday season, though,
saying,
it ticks up a little bit more with these matchups.
Yeah, I think that it's worked out well.
Yeah.
It's worked out well, for sure, where you've got some big divisional matchups and matchups of contenders that have all kind of coincided on one Sunday. So it should be good. Coming up, Aditi Kinkhabwala joins us. We'll talk about her perspective on AFC North head coaches who may or may not be forced out of their present jobs. Could they be brought in to the Tennessee Titans? Plus, her thoughts on her game, the only other game involving an AFC South team this weekend. Chargers at Jags that she'll have on CBS and whatever else, because we love talking to Aditi, and she makes us smarter. She'll do that for us coming up next. Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee, a 104.5 The Zone, locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. With Ramon Foster, I'm Will Bowling. Pleased to be joined by NFL on CBS reporter Aditi Kinkobwala, talking about her game, Chargers and Jags this weekend, talking Titans, coaching candidates, a little bit of everything. Good morning, Aditi. How are you?
Good morning, Aditi.
Good morning, friends. How are you guys?
We're good.
We're good. How much do you look forward to a production meeting with Jim Harbaugh? I got to imagine he's got to be near the top of most fun coaches to sit down with.
He is distinctly unique.
Okay.
Let's say it that way.
That's fair. That's very fair. Very fair.
You know what? It's funny because I love in-person meetings. I think that you always have better conversations when you sit across a table from someone as opposed to a Zoom, which is just a more awkward thing. And unfortunately, the Chargers are have a little bit of a weird schedule on Saturday. And they said it wouldn't necessarily be easy to make sure we fit everybody in one compressed period of time. And we certainly don't want to spend all day sitting at their hotel, getting one person, waiting an hour, getting another. So they asked us to Zoom with Coach Harbaugh and Derwin James yesterday, which we did. And let's just say he doesn't translate some of the pauses and the parentheticals in person are a little bit more difficult to translate via Zoom.
Very
it's
fair.
One of those, when you sit across from a person and you know whether it's like a pregnant pause and
Yes.
you just wait, whereas like it's on the phone and you talk over each other because you have no idea if the person is going to continue or not. It was kind of like that. But the team playing well. That's what's important here. And that defense looked awfully good against Ramon's Steelers. Are they still your Steelers, Ramon?
Absolutely. You thought I would?
Yeah.
These colors don't waver at all, Aditi. What are you talking about, man? Ask me about my kids' tuition, my house, my truck, my clothes. I mean, what are we talking about? You got to. I'm a one franchise man out here, Aditi.
You are. Seriously, you are. And I guess that never wanes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
this is what I'm saying.
To that point, Aditi, we had a conversation yesterday that we wanted to get your perspective on as well, because we're talking about all these different options for the next Titans head coach. And within that, kind of like in draft season, you do segments, and on this show, we'll talk about long shots. Mike Tomlin is someone we spoke about as a very long shot, but in that situation, Aditi, in that locker room, with that city and fan base that might be getting a bit impatient, let's call it that. How much of a long shot is that? And like, how crazy are we for even talking about Mike Tomlin as a head coach? And if he were hypothetically to be an option for the Tennessee Titans, what makes a Mike Tomlin team that this franchise could benefit from?
Okay, I like you both, so I'm not going to say that anything you say is crazy.
Sure.
But fans may be tired of Mike Tomlin having not won a playoff game in a long time. That does not mean that the Rooney family, which actually owns the Steelers and makes decisions, is tired of that. And I just have such a hard time believing that Mike Tomlin will coach anywhere else in the National Football League. He's made very clear that this is the job that he loves. This is the place that he is. He's been through anything and everything. I don't think that he is driven by this idea or this challenge of trying a new market and a new team. And as much as fans are bothered that he hasn't won a playoff game, he's got to be bothered more. So there's a piece of me that thinks he's ready to do it here, is wanting to do it here so he can tell everybody to shut up.
Fair.
I say here as in Pittsburgh, even though I'm standing in a gym in Jacksonville, but you know what I mean. Sorry, I live in Pittsburgh, so forgive me.
So, Aditi, so the question of, okay, all right, the pride of being a head coach and getting that first win again, but I have to ask you this, though, when it comes down to the process of getting to this point, how much they sold out to go get players and Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey, and you can check every box of almost every position to make a run at it. Is this dance and song kind of playing out a little bit, though, too? That's the reason we had this conversation yesterday is how much longer do you last? What is Harbaugh in Baltimore? 17 years? Coach Tomlin is 19 going on 20 in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Is that even a conversation to be had about it, just the record's kind of old?
You and I can say that for sure, and fans can say that, but isn't it a moot point if ownership is never going to say that?
True.
I mean, there's something to be said for that. I feel that way in my career, right? I had 10 great years at a cable channel, and it was time to move on and try a different challenge and be stimulated in a different way and learn and grow. But not everybody feels that way. And I think in the National Football League, Ramon, you can speak to this better. Year really is a new year. Every year is a new roster. Every year has a little bit of a new flavor to it. So in general, there is a newness in that sense. I just don't know about the all-in thing. I think if there was all-in, the Steelers would have made a move to get a wide receiver. They very clearly need a real number two option. Either Calvin Austin or Roman Wilson has really turned into that. They need to pull some attention away from DK Metcalf. They need a downfield threat. And the fact that they couldn't make it happen or didn't want to make it happen when they're ostensibly all in on this season, as you said, that's a little bit weird to me.
So, Aditi Kikabala with us, NFL and CBS reporter and friend of the show. Aditi, then let's talk about a different coach in Pittsburgh who is certainly a candidate here in offensive coordinator Arthur Smith and the pieces that he has to work with in the lessons he may have learned from what didn't work in Atlanta. And we know certainly, Aditi, that he's going to want this job as much as anybody who is going to have an interview or a call or a conversation with this organization about it. I just think back, and we had this conversation with you before the season about when we compared Washington to Tennessee, and you told us, like, Dan Quinn had to learn a lot from what didn't work the first time, and he spent time talking with people and going through this process, and he was ready for another opportunity. How well prepared do you think Arthur Smith could be to try to follow the Dan Quinn path? Has he had enough time to learn, hey, this is what didn't work, literally for the same organization, and learn lessons to prepare him for a second chance?
Unquestionably, yes. He's a very, very, very smart man, and he is certainly not someone I would describe as stubborn. So obviously he would have learned from the stops that he's been at, from what he's seen one of his best friends, Mike Vrabel, do up in New England from afar. I was told that he had a tremendous interview with the Jets last year. Really, really, really tremendous. So, and you're right. He's a Tennessee native, right? Didn't he grow up in Memphis? Is that where he's from?
Yep. That's right.
The only thing that I would say is you'd have to make sure that he felt really good about the front office and the relationship that's there, because I do feel that that's been one of the learning lessons, that you really need to be on the same page as your GM. And obviously the Titans have a little bit of an interesting structure. So, and I'm not saying that it wouldn't work. I'm not saying that it would, that they don't already have a relationship. I don't actually know, but I would just say that that's something that I imagine he would want to think about or feel good about.
Aditi, what do you make of, and again, we had the same conversation yesterday, and just the long shot coaches that are sitting coaches who could be made available. The Kevin Stefanski situation in Cleveland and giving up play calling duties again, and you've got the owner again coming out publicly and saying, you've made the most of a bad situation and a bad trade. We are behind you. What is that separation between what Kevin Stefanski was given and the tools and the ingredients he's got to make a meal and the things that he can control and do better? What has worked, what has not worked in that situation?
Well, giving up the play calling or handing the play calling off to Tommy Rees this year is completely different than doing it last year with Ken Dorsey. The decision to give the play calling to Ken Dorsey a year ago was not his, and it was an abject failure. When Kevin Stefanski hired Tommy Rees, who, remember, was a play caller at Alabama for Nick Saban and for Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, who was brilliant, a young, brilliant mind, a former quarterback himself at Notre Dame. Kevin, when he hired Tommy Rees, said, it's not a matter of if, it's when you will have the play calling. And it speaks to Kevin's own lack of ego that before the bye, he said, you know what, we need to do whatever we can to possibly win. And if that's bringing a fresh set of eyes and trying something different. The quote that he used with me was, well, that's an easy lever to pull. So this is more the recognition that a young coach is ready, that this is a team that desperately needs some sort of spark. Is this something that they can do to spark the team when you have wide receivers dropping the ball everywhere? You have a rookie quarterback whose line isn't playing particularly well and whose run game is a bit inconsistent. There's not much you can do personnel-wise. So what other move can he possibly make? And he thought, okay, well, maybe let's try this. And I think that Tommy Rees will only get better at that. So that's a different move. What could Kevin Stefanski be better at? Maybe a little bit more accountability, maybe a little bit more standing up for himself, maybe a little bit more discipline. I think that, I really, really do think that he is a really good coach. I think he has one of the most palatable, minuscule, non-existent egos in the National Football League. Just a genuinely good person. And I'll tell you, that's something that Tommy Rees even said to us. We had them last week, the Browns at the Jets. Tommy Rees said he is so driven to want to win for Kevin that he cares that much about Kevin. And that's the person that he is. But again, it's a Deshaun Watson thing. When you have ownership, owner Jimmy Haslam said that was a mistake, and it's a move that has hamstrung this franchise for years and years and years now. It's hard, and there just hasn't been great culture in that locker room for some time.
It's fascinating.
It's really interesting.
It is. Speaking of great culture in the locker room and et cetera, so it's a tale of two quarterbacks, and I kind of want to go there just a little bit. Looking at Cam Ward's rookie year that he's having with his head coach already being fired, and however Stefanski and his staff are managing Dylan Gabriel and also Shedeur Sanders. How do you view, that trio of quarterbacks at this point, Aditi? What's your outlook on managing their success rate moving forward? Does Dylan Gabriel continue to be the guy? At some point, does Shedeur Sanders get behind center and take reps? And, I mean, they're all in a boat together because they came in, but what is Cam Ward into this conversation? Could one scenario be different from the other?
I mean, Cam Ward was the number 1 overall pick for a reason. Dylan Gabriel is a 3rd-round pick, and Shedeur Sanders is a 5th-round pick, and that's not by accident. So I don't know that they're all in the same conversation. The Shedeur Sanders thing that I'll say is Kevin Stefanski's job is to win. If he really genuinely believed, if his coaching staff really genuinely believed, if the front office really genuinely believed Shedeur Sanders gave them a better chance to win ball games, he would be in ball games. Kevin Stefanski is not a petty, manipulative, racist. I've seen that person.
Wow.
He's not purposely keeping Shedeur Sanders on the bench. I mean, you're playing the players that you think give you the best chance to win. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, too. Kevin Stefanski doesn't get enough credit. He and his staff don't get enough credit for doing everything they can to possibly accelerate the growth and learning of Shedeur, even when he's not playing. The whole first third of the season, when Shedeur was inactive on game days, because of course Joe Flacco was the starter, Shedeur would get extra time, extra individual time every Friday and every Monday. And it was just him and one coach, just the two of them. Every player that Kevin Stefanski was not making active on game day got extra individual time on both Fridays and Mondays, amounting to an extra 30, 45 minutes of one-on-one tutelage just to get extra work, just to get better. You don't do that if you don't want to see someone succeed. You don't do that if you don't want to see somebody develop. There's also a risk in putting somebody out there, and I'm just globally saying this.
Yeah.
There's always a risk in putting somebody out there if they're not ready, damaging their confidence, damaging their sense of self, maybe even physically putting them in danger. That's just a global statement. So let's forget this idea of Kevin Stefanski, who, again, is one of the nicest coaches in the National Football League, one of the most genuine, true, authentic human beings, is not purposely trying to harm Shedeur Sanders' career. I mean, come on. I just did that. That was the pregnant pause I was talking about. If we were sitting across the table, you would have seen me moving my hands trying to find the right words.
No doubt. Well, I just got to let you know before you came on, somebody added Will and I in our YouTube chat and said this about you. Best segment of the show coming up. Ramon and Will, y'all fall back and just let Aditi do her thing like y'all always do.
Ramon, thank you. I so appreciate that. And whoever that listener is, thanks, my friend.
We get a lot of that
See
every
you all
time.
soon. I'll be in Tennessee soon.
You will.
In a few weeks, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Aditi, I wanted to ask, in the time you've spent around Cam Ward and met with him and also just watched him interact with the sidelines like we have, what's the kind of coach he's going to have the best kind of relationship and success with? It's kind of been our theme of the week. We've been talking about this with a lot of guests all week. Like, there seems to be no really common thread on the personalities of coaches that have had success with him. Like Eric Morris is not the same as Ben Arbuckle, who's not the same as Mario Cristobal, who's not the same as Brian Callahan. From your perspective, what kind of personality and coach is going to get the most out of Cam Ward in 2026?
Well, I have to be honest with you. I think that you could answer that much better. You stand on the sideline every single week. I was only there for one game. Watched him that one game. I was very impressed with his leadership, his poise. It was that crazy Cardinals game where all sorts of bizarre things happened, but that team never gave up. I don't know him well enough, but you need an authentic, sincere coach, not a car salesman.
Right.
Cam strikes me as someone who is way too smart. He would see through that nonsense. But of course, coaching matters. Look at what Mike Vrabel is doing in New England. Okay, that roster is still not even a full roster. It's obviously better than it was a year ago. But the way that they are playing in Vrabel's personality, the way that they are so sound, the way that they are prepared and don't make mistakes, and the job that Josh McDaniels is doing with Drake May, all of those things, of course, confirm coaching matters. But you also need some players. You need guys that are going to catch the ball. You need a line that can block and hold up. You need a run game that you can count on. You need a defense that can get a stop. I'll go back to what I was saying about Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was this pedestrian and old and washed up looking with the Browns. All of a sudden he goes to the Bengals where the line is playing better, the run game gets going, and he's got two of the best wide receivers in the game. And Flacco gets a lot of credit. The way that he uses cadence, the way that he is so quick with his decisions, the way that defenses aren't scaring him, the way that he knows how to get the ball out, when to get it out, and where to get it to, the way he sees the field. The line is able to play better simply because of what Flacco is doing. Ramon, you know this, of course. The line play also has a lot to do with quarterback play, but it's also he has weapons around him. And he didn't have that in Cleveland. So it just shows if you build around a quarterback, any quarterback is going to look better. I mean, go back. Let's talk about the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger maybe has a totally different career if he doesn't step into a Steelers team that already had a lights-out defense and a great run game. You're not asking too much of your rookie quarterback when you have a support system built around him like that. You know, it's something that Kellen Moore said to us earlier in the year, that part of why the Saints, there had been a lot of talk that the Saints were going to take Jackson Dart with that, I think it was the 9th overall pick. Correct me if I'm wrong. And instead, of course, they took an offensive lineman. And Kellen Moore said, you know, we need to build this thing before we put a quarterback in. And it doesn't serve a young quarterback any well to bring him on a team where everything is on his shoulders.
A lot of truth to
that.
Wow.
Again, yes, going back to that, the Titans need to shore up that roster before you start, or just as much as you think about who is the right coach for Cam Ward. They're hand in hand.
Sounds a lot like the pre-draft conversations we were having here. No doubt about it.
That's what we had, Aditi.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. Great minds think alike, right?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Aditi Kinkhabwala, our guest, NFL on CBS reporter on the sidelines for the only other AFC South game of the weekend, other than the one here, Chargers at Jags on CBS. Aditi, we look forward to seeing you soon when you are back in Nashville. We appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, as always, guys. I'll see you soon.
See you soon, Aditi. Be safe.
Aditi Kinkhabwala with us here on the show, wrapping up hour number 3.
I hate that we're going right back to home base.
Yeah, that's true.
Every single time it goes back to that. Not that we want it to be right, because you want to see Cam jump out and be a star. And somebody just said it too. If Cam is him, it'll all work out.
That's true.
But as Aditi said also, you don't want to put him out there and ruin him either.
That's also true. Coming up, 2 games in the AFC to preview. Chiefs at Broncos, Bucks at Bills. Our feelings on a couple of big games, plus your reaction to Aditi if you want to. 615-737-1045 as Hour 3 wraps up next.
Is your concrete in need of repair? Maybe your sidewalk has shifted on you. Your driveway cracked and sinking, or maybe your porch steps have moved, and you know exactly what I mean by the porch steps too. That normal step that you're taking, and now you're tripping because they have sunk on you. Well, shifting concrete, as I just said, can create a dangerous situation, just trip hazard around your home. It's also just a big eyesore. Shimon Foster, and whatever is going on with your concrete, call United Structural Systems. Ask them about their polyurethane foam injections. You've heard about USS for a long time. It's the same company that's provided superior foundation repair and waterproofing to Middle Tennessee since 1994. Well, they can also fix your sunken or settling concrete. USS uses polyurethane foam injection to lift and repair your sinking concrete in a matter of minutes. Lifted concrete can be walked on immediately or even driven on after about 30 minutes. So you don't have to go through that long, expensive process of ripping out and replacing concrete. Reach out to the people I trust for a free estimate. You can go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
Roberto Will, 104.5 The Zone, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Tate Matthews on deck in 15 minutes. Ron Slay at 9:20. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045 through the 9 a.m. hour is what I was going to say.
Tell him, Will.
Sunday afternoon in Buffalo. At noon, the Bills host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Somebody is going to lose a second game in a row.
Yeah, buddy.
Or I guess they could tie, but, someone's going to lose a second game in a row and start to push a panic button. Bills are a 6-point favorite in this game. I kind of like Buffalo in this matchup. What do you think?
I kind of like Tampa in that defense, even though they lost to the Patriots.
All right.
Because of a lot of what Buffalo's offense is the eccentric side of what Josh Allen is. They
the good
got
and the bad of it.
Both.
Yeah. No,
both.
right. Yeah.
Both. And it's for this reason. In that Miami game, he got the first down on a sneak. He continues to want to run the football in a wet game, and the ball gets popped out of his hand. It's that part, but he's also dynamic when he's scrambling side to side. What they have in Tampa is the ability to stop him up the middle, push the pocket, and flush him to making bad situations. Defensively, it's a Todd Bowles, Larry Foote defense. They're going to be sound. They're going to send heat at him. And right now, Buffalo's got good wide receivers, but they don't have anybody elite to where he can outmatch that defense. I like the idea that they can stuff them in a run, even with, what's his running back name?
James Cook.
James Cook. He's nice, though. I give him that.
Very nice.
James Cook is really nice, but I trust that Tampa defense and Todd Bowles in this situation.
Tampa is 19th in the league at pressure rate allowed. Buffalo's 6th best. Potential advantage there for the Bills in getting after Baker Mayfield. The biggest advantage on either side of this is in the red zone run game. Buffalo 5th best at running the football in the red zone. Tampa is 31st at run defense in the red zone. Emeka Egbuka is playing really well.
He's hot.
He is playing so well that they're actually changing the lyric in the Lil Wayne song to "Real G's Move in Silence Like Egbuka."
I like it.
It's fine. Not my best, not my worst. Emeka Egbuka, 677 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns in his first 9 games. The only other rookies, Ramon, with 675-plus receiving yards and 6 or more receiving touchdowns through their first 9 career games in the Super Bowl era, Marcus Colston, Mike Evans, Odell Beckham Jr., and Jamar Chase. Josh Allen averaging 272 total yards per game with 22 touchdowns through the first 9 games of the season. Both of those numbers are better than last year when he won MVP. 245.8 total yards per game. Last year, he's got 30 more total yards per game and 2 more total touchdowns at this point of the season. He is still on pace for his MVP season he had last year, although last year should have also been a Lamar Jackson MVP, but that's a separate conversation.
Got tired of playing the same song.
I like the Bills to cover the 6.
Okay.
-6 at home.
Temp, windy.
Good.
High 48. This is, what time is the kickoff
48.
on
That's
this
a
one?
balmy Sunday in November in Buffalo.
Yeah, it's a 1 o'clock game. By 1 o'clock, it will be on Sunday. Not that it matters, but it kind of does. It'll be about high 30s.
Chief Meteorologist Ramon Foster standing by.
High 30s is what they're saying.
The Chiefs go to Denver to take on the Broncos at 3:25 on CBS. The Kansas City Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites in this game. Away from home, in Denver, in a place where the Broncos have not lost this season. The Chiefs are 0-4 in one-score games this year. That is different. That's new. Chiefs are usually fantastic in one-score games. Denver is 6-2. They've had a lot of one-score games this season. The question is, does Bo Nix have a clean pocket? Denver has allowed the 3rd lowest pressure rate in the league this season. They are fantastic up front on that offensive line. Kansas City has succeeded defensively against the pass, despite their pass rush being kind of pedestrian. 18th in pressure rate, the Chiefs. But they're still 4th against the pass. This is a boogeyman game for the Broncos. Patrick Mahomes owns the Denver Broncos. He is 13-1 in 14 career games against Denver. Meanwhile, Denver has a quarterback in Bo Nix who is starting to decline a little bit once again. That game against Vegas was a crime against humanity a week and a half ago. They do get the mini bye coming into this one. Mm-hmm. Do the Broncos have a shot? How good of a shot do they have at home as a home dog against Mahomes and the Chiefs?
I don't think they have a good one. Didn't they lose Pat Surtain also for a little while? Denver did too?
That is correct.
Yes. I don't think they have much. Also, Denver has the rhythm of success, too much success also, in my personal opinion. I do believe they're on a 7-game win streak right now. They're due for a loss before this bye week. If I was betting this one, I'd bet Kansas City and say they're due for a loss, and I trust Patrick Mahomes way more than I trust what Bo Nix is doing. We spoke about this before last week. Like, they pulled out that dub last week, but you also look at them and say he's fluttering the ball in the air, Bo Nix, at times. He's indecisive when he's going to run it. If he is running it, he's throwing the ball up too high or in the ground too. He's good because I think he's protected well because of Sean Payton. Mm-hmm. But I don't trust his decision-making on the field at times when it comes down to him making a play for that offense. I got Kansas City on this one.
From Next Gen Stats, Bo Nix has an 83 career passer rating in games that he has won. That is the second lowest passer rating by any quarterback in wins in the last 10 seasons. The only quarterback with a minimum 8 career wins and a worse passer rating in those wins, Brock Osweiler.
Okay.
At 76.6. Two Broncos legends. To me, I do think that Kansas City with R.J. Harvey in the run game, if R.J. Harvey can take some of the pressure off of Bo Nix, Kansas City really struggles to defend play action this year. They are last in the league in passing defense against play action passes, which means that Denver has to make them respect the run enough to set up some of the explosive pass game with those wide receivers and some of the weapons that they have on the perimeter. Chiefs also another team that has struggled to stop the run in the red zone, something that Denver is very good at. They are number 3 in red zone rushing offense. I'm not going anywhere close to a confident pick on this game or a confident bet on this game. Obviously, I'm not betting it anyway. I would lean Broncos, though, if I had to make a pick against the spread. Broncos plus 3.5.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs win and the Broncos cover if I was picking.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Chiefs also coming off that bye. I'm not sure you mentioned it, too.
Right. Yeah, they're off a bye. Broncos off a mini bye.
I'm probably back healthy. I didn't realize Trey Smith had missed a game or two for the Chiefs. I got Patrick. It's that time of the year for Patty to do Patty-like things.
Yeah, it is. He is defrosting like Michael Bublé.
Yeah, he is.
Coming up, Tate Matthews joins us. A preview of the first round for some, with bye weeks, of the TSSAA high school football playoffs. Tate Matthews joins us to start the final hour next.
9:01, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Patriots beat the Jets last night 27-14 and get their 8th consecutive win. It was the Travion Henderson show as the rookie scored 3 touchdowns in the win, 2 rushing and 1 receiving. The Patriots improved to 9-2 on the season. The Titans, fresh off the bye week, host the Texans this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. Davis Mills gets his 2nd consecutive start at quarterback as C.J. Stroud was officially ruled out yesterday with a concussion. For the Titans, defensive tackle Jeffery Simmons returned to practice yesterday in limited fashion, leaving his return this Sunday possibility. On Sunday, Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff gets you started on the Zone at 9 a.m., followed by Titans Countdown at 11. Then Taylor Zarzer, Coach Dave McGinnis have the call, starting at noon for Titans and Texans. Tomorrow's homecoming on Rocky Top as the Tennessee Vols host New Mexico State at Neyland Stadium. Kickoff is at 3:15 p.m. Central Time. Mike Keith, Ramon Foster have the call for Vol Network. Coverage starts on the Zone at 1 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go to the 4th and final hour of the show on your Friday morning. He is Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins, our producer. Ron Slay in 15 minutes. And right now, previewing the Friday night of Tennessee high school football, playoff football, all around the Volunteer State. Tate Matthews joins us, presented by our friends at Freedom Boat Club. Tate, good morning. How are you, sir?
Morning, Tate.
Good morning, fellas. Happy Friday. It's a pretty one out there.
It is.
Sure is. It does not totally feel like playoff weather, but that's okay right now. Tate, it also kind of feels like boating weather again. Freedom Boat Club, the place to go.
That's right. The premier boating club in the state of Tennessee, really anywhere. But, hey, and that's the awesome thing about it. They are available 365 days a year. So when it gets to be November the 14th, and it's a pretty day like this, you can still get out there on the weather, put you on a little hoodie, cruise around, and man, what a great time. If you owned your own boat, you've probably taken it out of the water by now, and it's over in a storage somewhere in your garage, and you don't even have that option. So been talking about it for a few weeks now as it's been cooling off. Now's the best time to join the running specials. If there's somebody out there that, you never know quite what to do. Kind of like the coach. It's hard to buy Christmas presents for the coach, man, and it gets harder every year because he's got everything he wants. But this is the perfect gift for that kind of person. They're running specials right now. You can go to freedomboatclubtn.com, get set up for next year. They own the boats. You use them, and they've got something for everybody. Top of the line tri-tunes, never pontoons. They're all tri-tunes, double deckers, bow riders, surf boats. If you want to get into surfing, they've got the surf boat, and they've got one at every location. So all you got to do is go to freedomboatclubtn.com. It's a no-brainer.
All right, Tate, let's start with Class 5A. The Page Patriots take a 10-0 record into a second-round matchup against the Cobras of Kirkwood, one of the new teams on the block who has had a great season at 9-2 this year. What do you see in this matchup?
Well, talked about it a few weeks ago with Kirkwood, and man, they're a team that got good really, really fast. They're loaded with talent. They got a Mr. Football semifinalist from last year and again this year, and Miles Redding. He's already got over 33 total touchdowns for the year, and probably a chance tonight that he'll get over 3,000 total yards. And the big man, Kamari Blair, that everybody knows about on the offensive line, but he's not the only one. They've got another huge one in Tariq Brooks. He's about 6'4", 250 pounds. So they got a really big line. They've got a really good quarterback, really good wide receiver, really good tight end, and really good running back in Josiah Claybrooks. The problem is Page probably has an answer for everything that we're talking about for them. Probably the most loaded team, maybe in the mid-state, maybe them and Ravenwood and Oakland. But as far as just skill, firepower, I don't know how it can be much better than Page, and they've got a great quarterback of their own in Cam Cruz. He had 4 touchdowns passing, or 3 touchdowns passing last week, and then had one in the run game. But Page is averaging 43.4 points per game. They scored 62 points in the first round playoff game against Hendersonville and shut them out for the fourth shutout. So
wow,
a lot of power in this game. I would not expect this thing to be 21-17 or anything like that. I think it's going to be a shootout. Going to be fun to watch.
Ted, I love this type of stuff, hearing it, because it's like with high school football, it's more regional. I know there's some transfers that happen, but like those are the kids in your neighborhood from your school, which is why this is so much more intense. Man, I just wanted to say that when you mentioned these type of records that teams and schools are having right now. But again, Friendship at Provident Christian, man, how do you see this one unfolding?
Well, I love it for kind of the same reason as Kirkwood, but even a little bit different. Providence Christian Academy, only their third year of 11-man football, and they finish up 8-2, 4-0. That now they're in Division 1A East. Remember, there's D2 keeps you on your toes, but they're in the East, and they ended up winning that region. So they're hosting Friendship Christian, who's in the middle. They finished second. They're in the middle division. You can probably take a pretty good guess how Friendship Christian ended up second place in the middle division. They had one region loss, so to Nashville Christian. But for Providence Christian Academy to be in the playoffs alone is such a cool story. Only third year of varsity football, but then also hosting a playoff game, and I think has a real chance to compete with and even have a win against Friendship Christian School. So they got a really nice quarterback in Nate Lamb. He's a guy, he's not going to throw it 30 times a game, but he'll throw it, 15 to 20, and he makes the most of his opportunities. Not a whole lot of balls hit the ground. They've got a really nice running back in Porter Deadman. My man Ryan Elledge, former state champion starting quarterback for Coach Martin. I believe that was the 2018 2018 state championship. So QB1 is now the offensive coordinator for Coach LeBron Ferguson, and what a great job he's done there. But anytime you see Friendship Christian, Coach McNeil, they're going to have about 3 running backs that can beat you. They're really good on both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line. So going to be fun. I think the seedings don't say it. I think if PCA wins, it would be an upset, but I don't think it'd be a big upset.
No doubt about it. There's a dual matchup, man, that has a tie if something happens. But Riverdale at Maryville and also this Blackman at Dobbins Bennett, if both win, the Kreisky boys will play again, man. How those dual matchups work this weekend?
Oh, I love it. Well, and the way it works out this year, they're both going on the road. But Riverdale is traveling to Maryville, play them tonight. And the thing I love about that is I can't remember. It was 2015, something like that. I should have looked it up. But Riverdale has not played Maryville in the postseason since Coach Adelot was the coach. And Will, you might have been paying attention then. Ramon, you were busy up north. But Riverdale had a quarterback for Coach Adelot named Dylan Woodruff, great player. He got hurt. And if he hadn't got hurt in that game, I believe they would have beat Maryville, and I think they probably would have won the state championship since if they would have moved on. I don't think he would have beat them. But anyways, it didn't happen. This is the first time they've met up in the postseason in since then, and it's a really good Maryville team. They've only lost one game, which was at week 1 against Alcoa. But I think Riverdale's got a really good shot. And, we talked about their quarterback, Gavin Hampton, and Luke Tritch, and they've got so many weapons that he can throw the ball around to. So if they can outscore them, I think they will. They got a really good running back in Maryville that Riverdale's going to have to make sure they get on the ground. If they don't, it'll become a shootout pretty fast. But Blackman has to travel to Dobbins Bennett, which is about another hour past. Mm-hmm. But if these two win, we'll have the Kreisky Bowl Part 2 in round 3, and Blackman would host that. It'd be pretty awesome.
It was 2011, Tate, the last time Riverdale played Maryville up there, 42-14, November 25th, 2011. You were right on it.
Very impressive, Will.
Mm-hmm. Brentwood Academy hosting MBA tonight, Tate, for a spot in the semifinals. It looks like the two Chattanooga teams are kind of on a collision course on one side with McCallie and Baylor, and the two Nashville teams, and maybe Brentwood Academy and Innsworth. Innsworth still got a really good CPA team. They're going to play tonight as well. As a Brentwood Academy alumnus, Tate Matthews, it hurts me that BA-MBA was not played in the regular season. Justice that this game is being played in the postseason the way the good Lord intended.
Well, now, when you say justice, that makes it sound like you think you know what the outcome's going to be.
Well, no, I just want them to play, Tate. I don't
call it, Tate.
You tell me what you think the outcome will be in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is a game that should be played, but the way Brentwood Academy went west and NBA went east this year, so for the next 2 years. But yeah, the thing I hate about it is this: Coach Chauvin's done an unbelievable job his first year. Just to get to it, I don't think they have enough firepower to beat this Brentwood Academy team. What I hate is I was hoping Brentwood Academy and McCallie would meet. So when they beat McCallie, it would be Baylor and Brentwood Academy in the championship game, and McCallie and Baylor couldn't say that they knocked each other out in the semifinals before they could get to each other. But this NBA team, I've seen them play live. They're what you would expect from an NBA team. They play really hard, they play really physical, and they play really sound football. But this Brentwood Academy team is just different, man. They've got so many weapons on the offensive side, from quarterback to running back to wide receivers. The offensive line is much improved from last year. So I just don't know how NBA can hold them down enough to be able to outscore them. I just don't think you can do it. I think it's Brentwood Academy and Baylor in the championship game, and I'm starting to think that Brentwood Academy might be the better team because Baylor's proven you can score points on them, and Brentwood Academy can score points. And I think the CPA Innsworth game will look a little bit different than it did last time. What a great story from last week. Rawls Patterson, the great tailback from CPA, goes down with a broken collarbone, and they fill his twin brother Preston in, along with Bradshaw Clem, but Preston runs for 2 rushing touchdowns and had a huge night. And I think he'd only had 3 carries going into the game. Man, great story there. That'll be a fun one as well.
Absolutely. There's so many Pattersons, and they're all so good at football. It's Pattersons and Laws, Tate. There have been so many of those that coaches in Division II or Middle Tennessee are like, there are more? What do you mean?
Yeah, well, the good thing is Kane just had a son, but I think he's not even 1 yet. So the good thing is they're all gone now for about 13 years. But,
perfect.
But there's more coming. It's kind of like the Simpsons in wrestling.
Yeah.
We thought we were done, and now they're back.
I love it. Tate Matthews joins us Fridays at 9 o'clock, previewing the upcoming high school football slate. Excellent stuff as always, Tate. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Tate.
Yeah, brother. Always enjoy talking to you. Hey, real quick, Will, and then I'll hop off.
Yeah.
Today's a very special day. It's my beautiful wife Jennifer's birthday. So you can imagine being married to me for 26 years, but her birthday's today. I want to tell her happy birthday. Great wife, great mother, and great grandmother. So if you see her, tell Jennifer a happy birthday.
Love it.
See you. Happy birthday, Jennifer.
Thank you, Tate. Appreciate you.
All right, boys.
All right, there's Tate Matthews with us here this morning.
Gotta get that shout out.
Number of good matches.
Gotta get that shout out.
Absolutely.
Mama Bear ain't happy unless you get that shout out.
And who are shout outs brought to you by, Ramon?
Your mama now.
Your mom and them. So, yes.
Courtesy of 3HL.
Coming up, 3HL's Ron Slade joins us for his weekly visit after this.
It's Ramon and Will for Volunteer Traditions, man. This weather has been up and down, back and forth, hot and cold, but what I will tell you is this. The consistency of the quality of what Volunteer Tradition provides you is nothing like anything else, okay? Whether you're getting cold weather gear, warm weather gear, in-between weather gear, Will, they got you covered.
To your point, cool weather gear, something where you need sleeves, but you need lightweight. The performance hoodies are a couple of my favorites. The light performance hoodie with the interlocking UT logo, the orange and white stripe one that I've got with the cursive VOLS. No matter what your favorite logo is, no matter your favorite color, maybe you've got someone who's married into the family who needs gray, who needs white, who needs black, that doesn't want to wear orange as much. They have got everything for you. Volunteer Traditions has been making Tennessee apparel since 2006. They carry everything, Vols. Head online to volunteertraditions.com or stop by. They've got a brick and mortar location as well here in Middle Tennessee. Check them out. You can find all of the stuff that you need for the Vol fan in your life. Volunteertraditions.com. That is Ron Slay's theme music on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Friday morning, 9:20. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. Ron Slay here via the power of the telephone this morning. Slay, what's happened?
What's going on, good people?
How are you?
Power of the telephone, man. I'm in the power of the telephone. And you got to be right, Savage, this morning, man. We're going to speak to the kids as I see these kids getting off this little small school bus. I don't know what all this about, but
okay.
I'm just out here, Savage, and we'll lead to spread good love and caring and how the little knowledge that I got, man.
Little knowledge?
That's what I'm about to talk about. I don't even know what I'm about to talk about.
You got big knowledge. Uncle Slay loves the kids.
There you go, Willie. That's what I'm talking about.
Savage, I'm at a basketball gym last night because it's that time of the year that basketball consumes my day-to-day, okay? I had somebody I know very near and dear to me, a super cool guy. Our kids are best friends, okay, by the name of Shane. Shane pulls me over and says, hey, I didn't know you and Ron Slay were actually brothers.
We're doing this again. People still don't know this.
No.
It's like I just thought y'all was playing around. I was just like, no, we're not playing. That's our problem, Savage.
You don't play about something.
That's the problem. Always playing. This is the message. Craig was trying to get through the smoking. He was walking around playing all day. I know somebody playing the hood like that, man.
Not one person.
Brotherhood like that.
Not one person play about the brotherhood this much, Savage. But I got shocked again.
Okay. Well, guess what, everybody? It's true.
They are brothers.
We can put it to rest. It's true, y'all. We are brothers.
For like the 18th time. Talk about the power of...
I think someone need to be Will Lee coming on. I don't know if y'all remember that. I think it was on Living Color. We're brothers.
We're happy and we're singing and we're Give me a high five. Yes.
How you doing?
No, don't do this. You're not going to be out in public talking to us. Don't do this.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Don't let's interrupt.
I do. I'm on the radio right now, too, so I just want to let you know that I'm talking to my glass. No, you cool. No, hey.
No, she's not cool.
Yeah, you are fine.
Do I walk in her classroom telling her what to do with the kids? She is not. Savage, don't do this. Listen at the laugh.
That's why I asked you if RJ was in
Ashley
still in her class. Yep.
Why are you this way?
Because I love y'all, man. That's right. Okay.
Slay, you know what a lot of people around the SEC loved last night? Purdue out-rebounding Alabama 52-28 inside Coleman Coliseum. How impressed were you with this display by Purdue and the way Alabama stacked up against what looks like one of the best teams in college basketball this year?
Man, I was super impressed by Alabama last night. I was even more impressed by Purdue. And Braden Smith being able to take over that game the way he did, man, that was very impressive. I will like to say, this team and teams in the SEC this year, if they don't have experience and core like they did last year to go on that run, then it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little different outcome for 14. But with the people that learn in the fly, you got to.
Hey, are you on your metal glasses, Savage?
Yeah, why?
You going in and out like?
Yeah, we can't hear you very well.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put the phone up to your ear the old school way. I hate to do you like this.
Yeah, how about that? I'm going to put the phone in my ear.
There he is.
There he goes.
How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Braden, I thought Braden did a terrific job, man. And listen, Matt Painter knows all of these situations that Purdue can go in. They have experience. He's a first-team All-American for a reason. And I thought he handled it well in a raucous environment. Alabama was rocking last night, too, man.
Yeah, it was.
Tom Harden, Jimmy Dykes on the game. But you look at LeBaron Fillon and what he was able to do in the latter part of the game. And this is the gift and the curse of NATO's system. you don't necessarily know what's a bad shot.
Yeah.
So to tie the game up, they were trying to run a play. This is an example. They were trying to run a play for a down screen for Aiden Holloway to come up on the wing, and he was denied. So LeBaron Furlong kicked it to Bo Bowen in the corner, and the overall philosophy is don't pass up open shots. Yeah. But this is when it bites you, when you don't recognize time and score. So Bo Bowen shot the ball instead of going to dribble handoff for Aiden Holloway, who's a much better shooter, and he shot it regardless. So, I mean, that's the gift and the curse of it. But I think they're gonna be fine.
Nate Oates, too, was like beside himself because he was looking for the ball. And then Nate's like, go screen for him. And then he went and screened for him. And then he got the ball still at the end of it and just shot it. Like Nate Oates, I've not seen Nate Oates go off at a player like that, like mid-play in a long time. Like it was like 3 different mistakes from the same player where he's like, well, can you do anything? Like it truly, and that was kind of the end of it because then Purdue got it back, hit free throws, and that was that.
Yeah, that was it. And it'll be so many games that come down to that. And I think when you have a veteran like Alabama does in Wright Sale, you got a veteran in Holloway, you got a sophomore sensation in LeBaron Furlong, you don't want Bo Bowen to be the one taking the shot at the end. It's like we got 3 all-SEC performers right here and veterans. Let's put the ball in the hands that it's supposed to be in. So it's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back from that, man. They got plenty more opportunities. That's one thing Nate was going to do. He didn't shy away from his scheduling. And I think a lot of teams in the SEC the same way. So he can't duck and dodge. It's going to be night in and night out. See how it goes.
Savage, when you look at also this style of play and just the roster matchups too, like every team I've seen in primetime right now has had almost a 7-footer, a 6'11" guy. Like the big man game is still very prevalent in college. Why is that the case? Is it because the offensive structure, just the youthfulness of how you got to coach too, and the bigs kind of save you?
Yeah, I think that's something you got to have a championship caliber team. You got to be hitting on all cylinders, and it's unlikely to be able to have a team to run the table playing small ball. When you look at the teams that were in the Final Four last year and the years before, like you always have a big man presence. Now, whether that big man presence is a guy that you're going to throw the ball to down low traditionally, or you got one that's out there spacing the floor. The main thing is being able to control their defensive boards, limit them to one possession, and be able to, if a guard penetrates, somebody goes up and help throw it to the rim and let them finish. So that's the main thing as far as the game changing. But big man will always have a place. You just got to be a little bit more nimble, a little bit more athletic to play with these teams, because on defense, when you get switched off on these guys, it's a mismatch. You know what I mean? You're not switching. It's usually 4 guards around one big. So you're switching on a guy that's a perimeter-oriented player and can handle the ball, can shoot the ball, and can pass the ball. So you got to be able to move them puppies. You can't be a Zach Edey. As you see, that came back to bite him. That's going to get you there, but you got to have some guys that can switch off and play.
No doubt. Speaking of switching off and play, just to switch gears just a little bit, I'm not sure if you saw much of the Lady Vols game last night, but Belmont made that a little bit closer than it should have until I guess the talent took over. This run and gun style, will they settle in at some point, or they just got to start hitting the shots and you believe they will?
Yeah, I think that's part of just staying in the gym, believing in who you are. You're going to continue to shoot the shots. And I think one of the things that you got to continue to focus on is them getting stops. Like, as much as Kim Caldwell likes to get up and down, her thing is turning you over and getting cheap and easy buckets. So if you can take care of the ball and take the air out of the ball as an opponent, you got an opportunity to go and fight with Tennessee, knowing that they're going to take the quick shots, they're going to take threes. If you can get out and steal some transition buckets, the problem is when Tennessee is able to, the Lady Vols are able to score buckets and set up in that press, you know what I mean, and allow people to run rampant, and you kind of get scatterbrain out there and start throwing the ball everywhere, and before you know, that 2-point lead will turn into 8, and it's like, oh, we need a timeout, you know. So that's what they rely on. They rely on defense as much as they do that shooting. The shooting to come, but you got to be able to get stops, you know what I mean, and not turn the ball over if you're Tennessee. So I'm not worried about it. You got to think they got the ball in the hands of a freshman right now, trying to bring her along. But when it gets to the end point of the game and it gets tight, they know it's going to Talasia Cooper or Janai Baker.
She's so cold.
Yeah, they're the ones that's going to carry you home. But to get to that point, you wanna be able to have this experience, and they gained some vital, some real good experience. Like Belmont they've never been a slouch.
No,
you know what I mean, especially playing in interstate rivals or things of that nature. They take pride in what they do. They're always well coached, and they know exactly what to do when they go on the road. They're never afraid.
Slee, what do you think Rick Barnes has already learned about his Tennessee basketball team, and how much time can he still put in the whole team that's on scholarship? Because there's got to be a period of experimentation, and you're probably going to put some rotations out there against Rutgers and against Houston and against Louisville that maybe you're not going to an SEC play, because that's what non-conference is for, right? Learning about your team, and you don't get to practice a whole lot this time of year when you're playing so many games left and right. How long is it going to take for Rick Barnes to kind of whittle down this rotation a little bit, Slay? Because they have question marks at the 2-guard spot behind Jacoby Gillespie and who plays the point. Like, there's a lot he's got to figure out in a really small amount of time.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's more so in the backcourt. You kind of established in the front court.
Right.
And I was watching the last game, and Jalen Carey was a guy that, when you're talking about this 5-man rotation in the bigs, I think this is him establishing the rotation now and what he's going to settle for and what he's not. And I think everybody's starting to recognize it. If you're not going to do – and you have a luxury of playing a schedule like this early on in a non-conference before you get into December and you start playing these people that you just named, Houston, Rutgers, so forth and so on, to be like, okay, you go in there, you're not going to do what I asked you to do, come sit down. And watch the person behind you go do exactly what I asked, and they'll get extended minutes, and you will have to sit and watch. We'll give you another opportunity here in a minute, but that's the luxury of having that depth. Now in the backcourt, when you're watching guys, you understand what Gillespie's going to be. Like, that's already established. You need Bishop Boswell to be healthy, to be out there, and he can take a lot of the slack. Him and Henderson, as far as being able to control the ball, control the pace, play both ends of the floor, be able to knock down open shots. But that wing, what's my man? I'm 77. With
Amari Abrams.
Yeah.
Amari Abrams, yeah. Those are the guys that you're going to need to come along and see who wants to establish themselves as that other wing alongside Nate Ament. Because with Nate Ament, outside of him getting in foul trouble, which he's done a pretty solid job of staying out of, I expect him to play 30, 32 minutes. Him and Gillespie. You know what I'm saying? It'll be just fine, with the style and play that they'll play with. I would like to see also, to be able to cover up some of that, is him go zone a little bit. Now, I know he got man-to-man principles at all times, but if you wanted to cover up some things and use that length, it's not often you have that big man rotation like that, and those guys are all athletic. Cade Phillips and J.P. Estrella and Felix Okpara can all use their length, and if Carey starts to understand, you could also see him go in there and be put Cade on the wing, who has been working at some of the three, and be like a poor man's Thomas Houck for Florida. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with that. If nobody emerges in the backcourt, do you look to go big and say, I'll put Nate Amen at the 2 and Cade Phillips at the 3 and just use that length? So I think by the time we get to, I continue to say this, by the end of December, we should know who they are, you know what I mean, and they should be judged on what they are getting ready to go into SEC play, not what they see before the end of December.
Slay, it's incredible. I remember Tyler Smith had this gift at Tennessee of scoring 20 points, and you would think he only had 10. And you'd look at the stats, you'd be like, man, Tyler's got 20 and 9? Okay, like, cool, pretty good. And that was like a tame day for him because he was so good. Nate Ament reminds me a lot of that style of player where he is so unselfish. He's so much of a facilitator and scorer that he'll get 6 or 7 points at the free throw line. He'll knock down a couple threes. He'll get some transition buckets. And then you're like, oh, yeah, okay. I feel like Nate's not done that much. 12 points, 14 points. You look at the stat sheet, it's like, dang, he's got 24? Like, where'd that come from? And that's certainly not a bad thing, is it?
No, it's not a bad thing at all, man. And this is the thing with this freshman class throughout the country. A lot of guys are loud and boisterous. When you look at guys like A.J. Devance at BYU, and then you look at Cole Pete out there in Arizona, Cam Boozer. I think the difference with Nate Ament and the reason he kind of gets overlooked a little bit until you see the stat sheet at the end, because he's mild-mannered. And he's going to be one of those ones that like you just said, his game is going to have to continue to speak loud for him. But he's in a perfect situation with a guy who's already been through that when you look at Rick Barnes. So I'm going to tell you to shoot. You need to shoot. And when they look at your stat sheet and at the end of the game and your impact, that'll be as loud as you need to speak. So it's going to be one of those things where there's not a lot of talking, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of stuff in the media with him, as you see. But when you look around, like Darius Acuff Jr., who's loud, not loud and boisterous, but he's just a different style, aggressive style. You know what I mean? Nate Ament is more smooth and going about his business in the flow of everything, not really, going outside of the realm of anything that they're trying to do. So, man, it's a fun thing to watch a freshman be this poised. And even if he's not inside, outside his shell, he looks super poised. It looks like ain't nothing getting to him, you know what I'm saying? He kind of got that Chris Lofton demeanor, man, to bring him up. So salute to him, Tennessee Athletics Hall of Fame. But that demeanor right there, we see what they did. They did a lot of great things for some balls, so we'll take that.
No,
I'm a 6'11" for him.
Does that bother, does that affect draft status, demeanor when it comes to basketball players like that, or not really?
Yeah, I think just for the outside noise. When you get in the gym, you know immediately what it is. Like you can watch a guy warm up and be like, oh yeah, okay, he got something. Yeah, don't even worry about him. Like you don't need him to come up and say nothing on the mic or put no bulletin board material out, or you know what I mean. He may not be the biggest communicator, but you would draft somebody else that can be that communicator. You know what I mean, and a leader. Maybe you just need him to be a potent scorer and rebounder. So. It's other ways to do that, man. But when it comes to the draft, like a lot of guys are gonna scream loud. You know what I mean? DeBounce is an outspoken guy, but I expect to see him, if things go to plan, top 5 pick regardless.
Ron Slay, 3 to 6 on 3HL and your television sets on the SEC network, and he loves the kids. He is speaking to them today, which is why he is not in studio. Have fun. Enjoy it.
I am, man. I'm looking for my nephew out here, man. I'm trying to speak up on him, see what he got going on. Is he making paper airplanes like his uncle in the back of the class, you know what I mean? Or is he in ISS? You know? Is he doing write-offs in a little room by himself or something? I'm just be a proud uncle when I walk by, you know what I mean? Give him the thumbs up and like, that's what I'm talking about. There ain't chaos in here, baby.
Pull up on him, man, Maxwell, while you over there, man. Just
man,
tap
I see
in.
Maxwell right here in the door, as we speak. He's right here right now.
That's a problem, then.
I love it. Have a good one, Slay. Good to talk to you.
Savage, holla.
All right, there's Ron Slay with us for his weekly visit.
No doubt.
Uncle Slay loves the kids.
Uncle Slay loves the kids and gonna look out for them every time.
Final thoughts on Titans and Texans, Tennessee, and New Mexico State as we wrap up the show coming up next. I love it when headlines drop right as soon as we're going off air. And I can just tell Ramon about something that he's not prepared for. You get a genuine reaction.
It doesn't pop up on my radar the way it does on yours.
I need this thing to happen.
What's that?
Even though it's not going to.
It might.
Via Pete Nakos, former LSU head coach Ed Orgeron has been in communication with Arkansas.
Stop. Let's go. Hell yeah.
Also a name to know in the Oregon State search, he says.
Who, Ed Orgeron is?
Coach O.
Man, please, Coach O.
Oh, we're going to run that. We're going to whoop into it.
You know where he needs to go? He needs to go to Oregon State. Those people have no idea what he's saying. You imagine him like raising money with the donors. Oh my gosh, put him in the Pacific. Oh my gosh.
That's right, go Beavers.
Please put him in that conversation.
We're gonna build a dam around this stadium. We're gonna protect it. We're gonna have a damn good time.
Listen,
you get that one.
As good as a voice that he has, it would not register to the people up in where are they in?
Corvallis.
That's
right.
Absolutely not.
Well, he gumbo out west.
He could coach 50% of the conference if he coached Oregon State with 2 teams in the Pac-2.
Who's the other team?
So, as we wrap up this morning, Slay, yes, Ramon. my mind was going a lot of places there. Your brothers. We're talking about how your brothers and I'm over here watching the NCAA South Regional Cross Country Championships. I'm very distracted.
Keep treading water here, Will. You almost. I promise I'm gonna throw a life raft in a minute. I promise you, I got you a pool noodle to save you in a minute.
Aloysius Foster.
Yes, that is I.
What is one key for Tennessee against New Mexico State? What is one thing you want to see tomorrow at Neyland Stadium?
Ownership.
Slay's brother.
Ownership of the line of scrimmage, and I mean that. I sound so much like an offensive lineman when I bring this type of stuff up, but legitimately, this is the time of year where those dudes that you love and believe and trust are going to be good at their jobs. And I can say jobs now because those dudes get paid in college. But you got this week where you have a lesser opponent in New Mexico State. If they don't own the line of scrimmage, and I would also say this too, I'm not one to set Coach Heupel's game plan and what they plan on doing. But if you're not trying to run the football to establish a mindset for Florida on the road, for Vanderbilt at home, then something's wrong. I like going through the air. It's beautiful. But these next 2 after New Mexico State will be barn burners when it comes down to the physicality and how you play it. And this group, not once this year, for an equal opponent, has dominated the line of scrimmage the way they should.
Right. Fair. I want to see a lot of George McIntyre in this
Georgie
game.
boy.
I respectfully don't care to see a lot of Jake Berklinger.
I feel you.
Because I don't think Jake Berklinger is this team's future. If you know that George is your future, let's see George.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to cost him a red shirt.
No.
This is within your serving of games that you were allowed to get while not burning your red shirt. With all due respect to Jake Berklinger, who has stuck around, has done the work, has practiced, I just don't think he's the guy next year based on what he's shown us. And if you know that as well in that building, Jake doesn't need more than maybe a series or 2 if this score gets separated. So I want to see a lot of George, and I want to see what he could do because he needs an opportunity to kind of audition to be the starting quarterback in 2026 and tell this coaching staff, like, hey, you don't need to go get another transfer. I'm good. I got this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with the group that they have coming in. I'm with you.
For sure.
This is his moment. For sure. On a day like today. And coach shouldn't have to shy away from that either.
No, yeah, embrace it. It's part of it. For the Titans, Ramon, what do you want to see from them? How do they upset the Texans on Sunday?
Man, my focus on those 2 tackles. Don't allow Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. to have a day. That's just where I'm at. I don't know what to expect from Cam. I don't have a whole lot of requests from him. My request is for the 2 dudes that's on the edge protecting him. Do your job. I mean, at this point, Dan Moore's got everything that you want him to, and the talent that we were told that J.C. Latham has to show up, and especially if he's feeling a whole lot healthier himself with this bye week coming at the time that he did. That's my focus, is watching that edge this weekend.
I'm with you. Establish the run game and help out your quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what tweaks and changes and adjustments they could have made during the bye. Does this offense look significantly different schematically? I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it's going to look totally different, but what tweaks do they have for us out of the bye week? Time will tell. But I'd like to see more Tajay Spears. I'd like to see more of him in the run game, and I think his ability to kind of operate in a phone booth a little bit and be a quick cut guy in a really condensed area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think that Tajay has the better opportunity to be here in the future, and I want to learn if he can be the lead back in 2026. I don't know.
And then on top, he's got, 7-8 games left to kind of prove that himself, too.
For sure.
If he earns it, he'll get it.
That's right.
Yeah, that was simple as can be right there for Tajay.
Yeah,
if he earned it, but that's just kind of how it kind of goes.
In the F and Bing chat, one commenter says, Ed Orgeron to Arkansas, Heupel to LSU. Tennessee does not play at LSU next year, so Josh Heupel will not be heading to LSU next season. That's right.
Good.
He says, I mean for them to be their new coach. No, I know what you meant, Lonzo. It's just a really not very intelligent comment, so I was trolling you like you do to us. See? How does that medicine taste? Your own flavored? Is it just me or have these tables turned? We're back at it Monday morning, reacting to the college football
Mississippi
weekend.
State this year?
That would be the Tennessee Football Volunteers. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can finally hear from Lonzo again now that he's had time to recover from the beatdown that Tennessee put up. Let me stop and not take the bait. We're back at it Monday morning at 6 a.m. The Buck Rising Show, Cover 2 with Blaine and Zach. And 3HL get you ready for your football weekend coming up after this.
Man, y'all know how it goes on Fridays before going into this weekend. Man, call your people, speak to your folks, man. Apologize to somebody that you should probably just have a simple conversation with. We're more alike than we are different, man. ELE, man. Everybody love everybody. Peace. See you on Monday.